Well, hello. How are we? Get out my face. 101 Abel. How you doing? Hey Vic, did you get some rest? We were burning the late night candle last night. How y'all doing today? Everything good? Hey, Beauty is her name. Thank you for coming through on a Saturday afternoon. How's everybody doing? Everybody good? We good? Can we have a conversation about Shirley Strawberry? Uh she's stuck with Nesto, and now it seems like she is stuck with Nesto. We got another 30 days from now. She's gonna have to try to get him off her neck again. Hey, Nola Brown. Hey, Vic, not Vicky, not Vicky. K is my name. Thank you for coming through. That ain't none of me is in the house. Miss Kim Glamour W. Hey, how you doing? Sound checker net is in the house. How y'all doing? We come through on this Saturday to have a discussion about Shirley Strawberry sticking with her man, and now her man is sticking with her because she can't get this divorce to go through. What is the problem? K is my name. I don't know if I said hello to you or not, but if I did not, hello, hello, hello. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Georgia is beating the brakes off of Clemson today, which I can't stand Clemson, so that's a good thing for me. But, trust in my destiny. How are you? How is everybody doing today? So, if you were able to catch the supposed to be divorce hearing yesterday, we saw a very disappointed Shirley Strawberry, who was just, just the look on her face. Like, there was no words needed to describe the way that she was feeling about her divorce that was supposed to take place. And I think, like, when you're in a situation like this, like, truly an embarrassing situation for her. With everything that came out, with just his charges alone were embarrassing. But now we're talking about an embarrassment plus you're being cheated on while your husband is incarcerated, and on top of that, you got a bigamy charge. So it was more than, he wasn't even really married to you. So all of this being so embarrassing, just imagine, her just thinking that this whole nightmare, at least this part of it, would be over with, But again, with all the YouTube streets watching and with the world watching, she was embarrassed again because now she still gotta, get this thing delayed. So, um, and all her money went down the drain. Yes, yes, it did. Hey, Ban, how are you? How's your Saturday going? Everything good? We're starting out the conversation with Shirley. Of course, we'll end up going 19 different directions today, but I just wanted to get you all's thoughts on what Shirley must be going through with this whole thing, because honestly and truly, I'm not the biggest Shirley Strawberry fan. I think that a lot of the stuff was kind of self-inflicted. A lot of red flags were ignored, but at the same time, seeing her yesterday and seeing the look on her face when that judge said that they were going to delay this again, you had to feel for her. No matter what you feel about the situation, you had to feel for her. Um, getting that news, and Miss Kim, how you doing today? Miss Kim says disappointments is an understatement. She looked angry. She did. She did. She looked pissed. She looked pissed. Nesto needs to show up to the hearing so this can be done with. I don't, and in all fairness to her, I don't think that it should be contingent on Nesto. Um, I think that they should make this happen. He's not like hard to find. He's not like, oh, we don't know where he is. They know exactly where this man is, and they. I believe that there should be a procedure in place to where, because he is incarcerated, he should not have the option of whether or not to show up. You know what I mean? Why are we giving this man the option to show up to a divorce hearing? And he's already got a bigamy charge. This should be automatic as far as, as far as I'm concerned. Hey, Southside Chi-Town, thank you for showing up today. I appreciate you. We got Sonia's Pamper in the house. Hello. Trust in My Destiny says, I agree, he shouldn't have to be present. No, because what's the point of him being, incarcerated? You've got a bigamy charge. The judge should have taken that into consideration, that this man is already, like, when it comes to marriage, apparently, a fraudster when it comes to that. Otherwise, how did he get the charge? And, the fact that he has some sort of like option to like show up or whatever, I just don't like that. I don't like, and if that's the way the system is set up, they really need to revisit that. If there's a loophole that somebody that is sitting in a jail cell can say, nah, I'm not gonna be there. What? Wait, what? Her disappointment is understandable, and I still believe he's not going to show if he's given the option. Yeah, Dan, I think so too, and that's the reason why I don't think they should give him the option. In this particular circumstance, with the charges that he's facing, and with everything that he's put this woman through, I do believe that they should be telling him, like, this is what we're doing. Or if he doesn't show up, I think that he should be treated like a hostile witness or something. I mean, there should be something that the judge can do to make this go away for her. Hello, Only Me 23, and that girl is here. My Retta is here. Y'all just don't know how much I appreciate y'all coming through on a Saturday. It is a Saturday. There is football on, but unfortunately, I'm not interested in any of these teams. I would like to see Clemson get beat today, which they are. Yay, yay, yay. And but I would rather spend my time talking to my people. I love y'all. Let's see. Virtuous Sinner, love the name, said, yes, unfortunately, she is stuck with him for now. Yeah. Hey, Lexi, the law nerd. Trust in My Destiny says, from what I heard, the previous judge state the divorce would be granted whether or not he was in attendance. So I wasn't expecting yesterday's outcome. Me neither. I mean, you would think, right? You would think that this would be like a no-brainer, that they could do something about this. Lexi, the law nerd, says hello. Hello, Lexi. Dimples Wimples, my people. What's going on today, Saturday? I'm so doggone happy to be off. I got some good sleep after doing a very late live with Legacy Moon last night. It was a great live. We covered a bunch of topics. Stayed up extra late, but it was so worth it. Everybody was good. We had a great panel. Vic was there. We did a lot. Lady T-Bug, I'm so happy that you came through. How you doing today? Let me tell you, Lady T-Bug, I keep missing your lives because of my work schedule. like I think by the time I get off and catch my breath from work, you're kind of going off. So I apologize for missing your lives. I really miss you guys on there, but I am gonna catch up with you though. I am gonna catch up with you because you my Florida peep. So we gotta talk our Florida talk. So Dimples Wimple said I would have been like, I object, damn it, you doggone right. I would have said something like, I mean, she looked so helpless, like that look on her face. It was like sad anger, like it was all there. You know what I mean? It was all there. Hey, it's complicated. Hello, how are you? Jackson Tabasco says, hey y'all. Ms. Kim says, why did his attorney show up if he wasn't there for the divorce hearing? My theory on that is that I believe that that the lawyers were there because of the bigamy. So your client's going through a divorce trial, divorce hearing, and then your client also has bigamy charges. I believe that they were there to kind of like get a heads up on that part. I think that's probably why they were there. That's just my theory as far as that goes, because I think and I was saying this in our live last night, I think that when you're dealing with a Nesto, you get hit unexpectedly with all kind of stuff because he's not forthcoming with the truth. Nesto is the type of person that will lie by omission. he lied by omission when he didn't tell Sonia that he was married. So I think that when you get a client like that, you have to kind of like jump out ahead on everything. So that's just my theory. I feel like probably in some of the conversations that they've had up to this point, they've been hit by stuff that Nesto didn't tell them. So I think that right now they feel like they have to be proactive with everything with this dude. So yeah, so there's that. There go Bank. Did you get some sleep? Did you get some sleep? Because we was doing it like it was 3 in the afternoon. We was up at 3 in the morning. Lord have mercy. But I got some sleep, so that's why I'm able to be coherent with you all today. Dan says, great job the other night. You handled yourself well with the ladies and their personal questions, spoken like a true gentleman. Thank you so much. I try to be as transparent as I can be when it comes to things. I tell everybody I've been through a lot. In going through a lot, you learn and try to just express those experiences to everybody. Thank you, Native. You're more than welcome, Lady T-Bug. Yes, it was sad. It absolutely was sad. Nick to the Veil says, I ended up falling asleep. I had to just drop off the panel and pass out because my dog was like, can we go to sleep, please? Yeah, no, totally understandable. That hour of it, totally understandable that happened because it was a great conversation. I really did enjoy that conversation. So it was good. You Bank succeeding too. We had a great time last night with Legacy, so that was great. Yes, Bank. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming through. Virtuous Center said, I definitely objected to this nonsense. He doesn't need to be here. He state property. That's my point. And if it doesn't work like that, if that's not the way that the system is set up, why? Why isn't it set up that way? So that people like him can't just continue to continue to terrorize her. And I mean, and I know terrorize might sound like a strong word for what he's doing, but if you think about it, he's a terrorist. He's holding her mental hostage. He's holding her personal life hostage because she still got that reputation, and she's trying to move on, but he won't let her. And I think like that's not fair to Shirley Strawberry and any other woman that's in her position, because I'm sure it's not just her. Anybody else that's in this position, they have a guy that's holding their life hostage like this, and he's behind bars. So that it just makes no sense that if that's the way the situation is set up, then there definitely needs to be some reform or some way of revisiting that. So my brother says, I could tell Shirley was angry when they rescheduled on her. I would have been angry too. Yeah, it's a totally reasonable reaction from her, through everything. Shirley needs to have the patience of Job. So when you say that, Nola Brown, it brings me to, the way I described, the situation. She stuck with him, right? Like when she had that call with him, she made it clear to him she was sticking with him. And now, because of that, she's stuck with him. She is stuck at least for another 30 days, with that. Us seniors need love too. You are not late. We are just getting started. We are about 13 minutes into this thing, so do not consider yourself late. Consider yourself present. Thank you for coming through. Your presence is appreciated on this Saturday afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Lexa the law nurse says, yep, that's why they were there. They kept saying the divorce was part of another case. Yeah. So the lawyers are just trying to get a jump on, they don't want to get blindsided. Because like I said, I'm almost positive dealing with a Nesto as a lawyer has to be a nightmare. Because this guy is only, and then not only dealing with Nesto, but think about it like this. You're not just dealing with Nesto, you're dealing with Sonia too. Because Sonia is telling you how the law works in her little tiny brain. And Nesto is believing her over the people that have been to law school and that are educated in the law. So you're not just fighting, you're not, as a client, you're not just taking on Nesto. As a client, you're taking on Nesto and Sonia. And Nesto is going to believe Sonia more than anything. I do think that they might have scared him to just a little bit with the phone calls, because his phone call discipline has become a lot better. As far as like, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying. I'm just listening. I'm just listening. I think that the lawyers probably put put the scare of God into him. Probably had a nice little speech with him. And probably told him like, look, you making your case way worse by talking to this woman. So he is not saying as much. And Sonia is still trying to get him to say stuff. That's the weird thing. She's still he's saying no, 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 no. For example, when they were talking about the Roswell police, and she was insistent on telling him about some imaginary conversation, because I do not believe no one at the bank talked to her about Roswell, Georgia. But she's saying that some woman said how racist that, and he was saying, nah, okay, like trying to get her to shut up. But she wouldn't shut up in typical Sonia fashion, right? Would not shut up. And I think the lawyers are like, look, quit making your case worse for yourself. Help yourself out, help us out. And, if you're trying to get out of this. So I think that after 2 years of listening to this man talk on the phone, or 2 years worth of conversations, that it's finally sinking in, like, let me, not talk as much as I was talking. And anytime that it takes you 2 years to learn something, something basic, yeah. K is my name. They should just grant the divorce. He's in jail, so he can't be physically present for anything, and he's legally married to someone else. Right. All of that. It just, none of that makes any sense. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Victor DeVille says he's going to have the worst kind of defense because he keeps lying by omission. I think his investigators finally getting to him with a sprinkle of Tashima. Yeah, I think so. I believe so. Native, you are my brother in my head. I'm open to some more sisters. I am. I'm always open to some more sisters. I think that I think I could never have enough, because you all are amazing. Yes, please like the live. I would appreciate that. The like button is available to you. It is a free resource to help Native tribe urban media become a thing, a full-blown thing. That would be awesome. Let's get the likes up. Hello, chat. Hey, Lady Bethshua Moshe. I hope I said that correctly. I think I sounded that out right. But thank you so much for being here, and thank you for encouraging the likes. Lexi the Law Nerd says, poor Shirley. I bet she's like, geez, I'm never going to get rid of this man. Hi, hun. Yeah, she probably is. Saying that. And can you imagine that? Can you imagine this parasite? Like, it's a leech that you can't pull off of you. That is just terrible. It's just terrible. To realize, like, I think we've all been there. We've all had partners that we shouldn't have been with. I know I have. You have that partner that you can't. But for for those of us that did not marry that partner, for those of us that were just dating, we realized the mistake and we kind of like reverse course, and we say, okay, enough of this. And but when you have somebody that you can't get off of you, oh man, that's a bad feeling. That's a bad feeling. That was really different last night, Native. It went down a rabbit hole. Some comments were different. It was, but it's kind of fun that way. It's kind of fun that way when you plan for one thing and then you end up having like a totally different conversation. We went over so many topics that when I went to sleep, I was still like, I think I had a dream about just some of the books that we talked about. It was good. It was really good. And I think the one thing I love about this community is that there's so many different diverse opinions, diverse backgrounds, that it leads to different conversations, and they end up being really good. I know I learn a lot every time I'm with you guys, and I love it. So yeah. Dimples Wimples says, I hope they don't switch judges again. I hope not too. I mean, there has to be some consistency in this thing, right? I mean, I would think that they would want to be consistent with it, but I think he did tell Sonia he was married, and to Shirley Strawberry. Sonia's a liar as well. I think he told this desperate hen just like he told the others. So according to the Villanor the Villanor interview with Sonia, he didn't. According to what Sonia said that he didn't tell her, because Sonia said that she never asked him that. And so the question that Villanor asked her was, why wouldn't you at your, at your big old age, ask a man if he was married or not? So he didn't tell her and she didn't ask, and they were good with ignorance is bliss in the situation. So I don't think he did, but I think once he told her, once he did get around to telling her about his wife, that I think that at that point Sonya didn't care, and she continued to pursue him, and they continued to be together. So I think it was a mix of both. But lying by omission in that initial phase, where, well, she didn't ask me, so I didn't tell her, he's still a scumbag for that, and it's kind of a scumbag move. So I don't know. I think that he had the responsibility as a married man. I think, and I think the thing about it is that, like, um, with men, people try to let us off the hook with our responsibilities. If I went through the trouble of walking into the Steve Harvey morning show to ask this woman to be my wife, at that point, the responsibility is on me as a man, if to indicate that I'm married, like and she shouldn't have to ask. I should be volunteering that information. But the fact that I don't kind of puts it back on me. And that's just my perspective as a man, and being responsible with a relationship, and being emotionally intelligent enough to know, like, number one, don't cheat. But then number two, my wife should be front and center when it comes to any other interaction with any other woman. So that's just my point of view as far as that's concerned. So I think that it was, I think that that was on him to do that. I don't think she was embarrassed, man. It was not her fault, and at this point, she really doesn't care about what other people think. She just wants to be over. I, I'm not in her head. I'm just thinking about, if you are on national radio giving people relationship advice, and then you ain't even talking about your own marriage. When she had that interview in February of 23, and the person interviewing her had to literally, like, she didn't volunteer. They talked for a whole hour. She never talked about her marriage, which was still kind of fresh. As far as what happened with Nesto, she never mentioned him. At the end, she had to say, well, you haven't talked about your husband at all. And she was like, oh, everything is fine. She just kind of glossed over it. There has to be a little bit of embarrassment there for someone who is giving other people relationship advice, and your husband is cheating on you and is committing these heinous acts against people and is incarcerated, and you haven't mentioned it at all. Steve Harvey had to say that they was getting the information from Mississippi Monica. So her hiding it from people was kind of an indication that the situation was embarrassed. She might not have been embarrassed yesterday as much, but I think that this entire situation it's got to pull at her just a little bit. So, in my opinion, it wasn't until the blogger jumped the state wasn't even looking at the bigamy charge. Thanks. So, yeah, that's true. Everything kind of came out, and Sonya kind of, talked about it. She runs her mouth. She has run her mouth, and is probably going to get him in prison for the rest of his life. I'm just saying. Virtuous sinner. Sonya just likes to be lying. She's so stupid. She is absolutely. Simply Me said it could be some sort of legal strategy with him not showing up to court for the divorce. I just think it was just the lawyers trying to get a jump on it. That is a strategy. So I think so. I think so. Right, Native. It has to be a horror feeling. Yeah. I mean, my goodness. Yeah, this whole thing. I know, and I think I think, and going back to the previous comment, she does just want to get this over with, and whatever people think is irrelevant. I think that as far as like us, like I really don't think Shirley give a damn about what me or anybody else thinks about her situation. But I do think that in her inner circles and in the people, like, imagine going to work every day with a situation that you think you're hiding from people, but everybody around you actually knows what's going on. And I think like at the Steve Harvey Morning Show, that's what was happening, because that's what Steve said. Steve Harvey said, we've been knowing what was going on, we just didn't say nothing. So she thought she was hiding it, and she wasn't. Everybody was looking at her like, okay. And then when she walks out the room, they start talking about her, obviously. So that has to be a thing that, that isn't good. But I think like that embarrassment feeling is not from what we as like the audience that's watching this play out thinks about it. I think the embarrassment is from just her friends, and, and not being sure of how her friends will react. Because think about it. She said some harsh things about Panay. She said some harsh things about, the people around her. Everybody's jealous of her marriage and all this other stuff. And now she's got to really eat those words. And that has to be, that can't be easy for anybody. Miss Buckeye 99. Hi, Native. Hi, chat. Just popping in to say, I see I've missed a lot. Congratulations, my brother. So happy for you. Thank you so much. I'm out here doing it, or trying to anyway. But I have a very great audience. Love everybody here. Thank you so much. Queen Black for showing up. Chanel Heslop showed up. And Miss Buckeye 99 says, finishing up back to school prep with the family. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for hitting the like button. Virtual Center says that judge sounded sick yesterday. Yeah, he sounded like he was ready to go. Sounded like he didn't want to be there. Lady Bashua says, now remember, she said, when you said you were who you were married to. Wait, hold on. Now remember, she said, when you said who you were married to, I didn't know who she said was Nesto. She knew. Yeah, it's a lot of, I don't understand. Like, Sonya, one of them people, you ever know people that tell unnecessary lies? Like they lie about literally everything, and you like, you ain't even have to tell that lie. Like, you come in with a Wendy's bag, and then where you been, McDonald's? Why are you lying about that? Like, it's everything is just a cover up and deceit, but yet she wants us to believe her. She wants us to believe that Nesto is innocent, but yet she lies about everything. That's just the craziest thing. Nesto is a sociopath, proposing on air only to embarrass Shirley years later. Ms. Kim, I agree of being a sociopath. And I think sociopath is too big of a word for Sonya to understand what that is, because she keeps trying to convince us that he's a good person. Sociopaths present themselves in many different ways to many different people. So nobody really knows who the true Nesto is. I think when you look at what Dre is going through with Nesto, that's exactly what it is. Nesto presented himself as one way to Dre, which is why Dre said to him, hey man, when you get out of this, we got to sit and talk. And he's saying that because I'm trying to figure out who you are, and I thought I knew it. So we got to sit down, and we going to take a drive, and we going to try to sort this thing out and figure out how you got into this situation. To which Nesto was extremely offended that he would think that, because now his world, the person that he's presented to Dre, is compromised because of these charges. The person that Dre thought he knew is not the same person. So Dre is confused. Shirley is confused, because Shirley's saying they just want to arrest a black man. No. They want to arrest a criminal. And Shirley's thinking that she knows Nesto. Sonya thinks she knows Nesto. Nobody actually knows, and that's how sociopaths work. So he's presenting himself in all these different ways to everybody that knows him. And now, because of YouTube and the wonderful work of people like Lady T-Bug, like Nyla, Fran, these people that are literally exposing him, phone calls from prison exposing him to everybody. So now everybody gets to see the different Nesto that he's presenting to everybody else. And that is infuriating him. That's why they keep putting in these motions to try to get everything suppressed. Nesto doesn't want everybody to see all of him. Even Dion, his own son is saying like, this ain't my daddy. Well, you don't really know your daddy. You ain't meet the dude until you was 13. So, you don't really know him. You know who he is to you, but you don't know him because he doesn't want you to know him. So Joey Sea Dog says she's lying. He tells everyone he's married. Yeah, yeah, he, yeah, yeah. I mean, he does. He presents it in a certain way, but Joe, I think that, I think that at the beginning, I think he left it out at the beginning. I really do. I don't think that he has been. He doesn't present himself as an upfront person. I think when he tells people that he's married to Shirley, that it's out of necessity. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it's like, okay, here's the way to influence this person to do what I want. This is who my wife is, which is like basically the I Am Hazel story was like, well, I'm married to a prominent woman, or a prominent woman, however he pronounces it. And, and then, well, who's your wife? And then eventually he tells her that it's Shirley Strawberry, because um, Shirley Strawberry is not like an A-list celebrity. She is somebody. Like, when I try to tell people about this story, the thing that keeps popping up is, well, who is that? And then I mention Steve Harvey, and then I mention the Steve Harvey show, and then by the time I get to the Strawberry Letter, they're like, oh, yeah, because keep in mind, radio is not the popping thing anymore, and Shirley Strawberry is mainly on the radio. So, but yeah, I think he does. I think he uses it at will whenever he needs to use her name. Great, that process. It is so refreshing to hear your opinions about this from a male perspective. Thank you so much for the comment and coming through. Yeah, I think that it's important to hear male voices on this, because of I think that sometimes we do protect men in this society. Like, we live in a very patriarchal society that does protect men in most situations. So I think that it's important to come out and speak on this from a male point of view and say, no, it's not okay. The things that he's done, the things that he said, not good. And let everybody know that, there are victims here, and he needs to be punished for what he's done. So absolutely. But thank you for the comment, though. According to Sonia, the government is trying to take our cars. She's a liar. It's not just according to Sonia. Sonia has a certain stream that she gets her info from. Most of those streams are conservative talking points, Trump talking points. And as we know, that dude lies constantly. So so if you look at the source of her information, it doesn't originate from her. She goes to like every crazy crackpot site, and that's what she cites. But the crazy thing about it is that she listens to these things, but then tells Nesto to only believe 5% of the news, or the polls are lying, or don't believe what you see on it. But she believes everything she sees. So how you gonna tell this man not to believe stuff and you believe everything? That's the crazy part. We are all capable of giving solid advice despite being in the midst of our own mess. Very true. Very true. But the thing about it is that if you listen to the show and listen to the stuff she says, Shirley Strawberry and Steve Harvey have never given solid advice. I listened to it. I used to listen to the show every morning, and I would be like, why are y'all telling people this? This is the worst toxic advice that you could possibly give. I mean, there are situations that are cut and dry. Dear Shirley, my husband is cheating. What should I do? Well, leave. Okay, that's cool, but that's more common sense. But when the situations are a little bit more dicey, Steve has stepped in with some horrible advice to women, and I just would be listening to it like, okay, y'all keep listening to this dude. That's why y'all ain't never gonna get married. But whatever. What do I know? You better know what to say, and they to preach. I am nobody's preacher, but at the same time, look, my common sense works very well. During the visit, PCFP posted yesterday, Sonia said that she got some good news about his case. I doubt his legal team is in contact with her, so I wonder who allegedly told her, Bible lady, or it's a lie. I think at this point, a lot of this stuff is performative. I think when Sonia says stuff like that now, she's saying it because she wants us to believe that some kind of way. Her whole thing, her whole mission is social media and YouTube. She wants us to be wrong so bad. At this point, she just has a point to prove. There's nothing else in their relationship at this point. Tashima's come in. He's got like all these people, these 16 letters, and he's really smelling himself right now, as they say. He's smelling himself right now in that jail, and he's feeling like he probably can do better than Sonia. Their relationship has really run their course. Sonia even knows that, but what Sonia's doing right now is she's trying to stick it to us. It has to be a lie. What could have possibly happened from his last trial to now that would be such great news for him? And again, like you said, how would she know that? How would she know who's the lawyers are calling her? Hey, Sonia, guess what? We got good news. No, it's all about trying to show us, the people that have latched on to this story. She's trying to show us up, and so she thinks that by saying that, and we're going to watch this back, that we're going to be like, oh no, it's good news for Nesto. No, and we continue as a community to show Ms. Waller that we are not stupid. Hopefully she's found my live. Hopefully she's here in the bushes. Hey, how you doing, Sonia? Check your pamper, see if it's full. But I think that's what it is. I really do. No woman should have an opinion or this much input in your marriage. Yeah, Lady T Buck. I think the thing about it is that you're right, but I think the thing about it is that, like, she thinks that what she's saying is what Nesto wants to hear. She really thinks that Nesto wants to hear about how Shirley isn't there for him, and how, like, she's there for him, and this is what a good woman should be doing. And it's a part of selling herself, I think, more than anything. She doesn't know anything about, like, marriage or anything like that, so she's embarrassed. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Let's see. Victor DeVille says the worst thing he ever did was turn on Shirley and be more honest with Sonia. How are you more honest with the hoe and lie to the wife? The wife was turning a blind eye and loved him down. I I I don't know how honest he is with Sonia, though. Like, I mean, I get it. I understand what you're saying. Trust me, I do. But I think he's lied to both of them. Like, the lies he's told to Sonia are like, um, you know, if you notice, he doesn't really present anything as far as here's why I'm innocent. All of the theories and everything about his innocence and where he was, it comes from Sonia. Again, lying by omission. Sonya will sit there and come up with a whole Roswell was racist and Roswell was profiling you. And he regurgitates that back. It's racial profiling. It's obvious it's racial profiling. Well, that wasn't your thought, and that's not what happened. All that came from Sonya. So Sonya boosts him up so much. And I think that it's like he doesn't have an original thought in his head. Sonya feeds him something, he says it back because it sounds good, but he's not telling her everything. Obviously, he's not. As things keep coming out, it's so obvious that he's holding back. Joey Sea Dog says, "Good to see a male weigh in on these topics." Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's important. I think it's important that we do get a voice in on these things. Hi, Native and Smokey. Smokey is not asleep right now. Smokey is actually eating her snack right now. So she's kind of running around a little bit right now. So you said hi to her at the appropriate time. That girl, after 2 years, Shirley is healing about now. She's over it. I hope embarrassment wears off as well. She has to live. These stories are going on 2 years. Glad Nasty is still locked up. Nasty is going to be locked up. He is where he is. He is where he is. And, I think something like this, when you are a public figure, it is a part of it. If you think about any celebrity that except for maybe a few, there's like a few exceptions to this, but for most part, every celebrity is, they're human. The same things that happen to us happen to them, except they have TMZ, in their face when they're at the airport, or they're being reported on everything. But that's the difference between them and us. Things happen to them. It's just that we get to see it. So in the case of her, I think that it'll eventually die down. I think if she makes the right, career moves, she'll be moved past that, especially after this trial is over with. So yeah, like the lie about going to Africa and Paris, I could have sworn. Sonya said she doesn't have a passport. Miss Kim, thank you for bringing this up. Sonia said, I don't have a passport. She said those words. From that point to now, I do not think Sonia's magically got a passport put into her diaper bag. I just don't think that that has happened up to now. So, so I think that so I think she's full of it. I think she's full of it. I do not believe that some kind of way Sonia got a passport and that all of a sudden, she's just a world traveler. No, no, not at all. Paris, Africa. First of all, if you ever notice when she talks about Africa, what country in Africa? Africa is a continent. You know what I mean? Where are you going in Canada? Are you going to Toronto, Quebec? She says she's going to Canada. I'm going to Africa. Okay, well, be more specific. That is absolutely a lie, and she needs to be ashamed of that. Hello, chat. Hello, native. Hello, you better believe it. Just checking in with y'all. Heading out of town. We'll miss you guys like it. Yes, yes. Enjoy your trip for this holiday weekend. Hope you have a great time. Native, what I don't get is why the other wives stayed silent for so long. They would have remained silent if it wasn't exposed. Well, that's the answer to your question, Sonya B. They remain silent because who would want to be publicly associated with this guy? I think when the lies come out, when he's telling about this person came up to me on my wedding day and said, "Oh, I apologize, Nesto, you were the best man I ever had," yeah, okay, that's obviously a lie. So if somebody's telling that lie on you and it's coming out of that man's mouth, absolutely, I'm stepping up like, hell no, hell no. Who do you think knows Nesto the best? Simply me. No one. That's the scary part. Nobody. I feel like he gives everybody a piece, but nobody has been given the whole pie. I think that when you hear everybody's conversation with him is different. Okay, everybody's conversation with him was different. In the beginning, when we heard that call between him, it was like he was on the phone, Dion was on the phone, Lamont was on the phone. He really didn't say that much. Dion and Lamont said just about everything on that call. He clams up when it comes to like multiple people being there on the phone. I think like in the call with Dre and Shirley, he was explaining his charges and they just kind of was just sitting there. But I don't think anybody really knew this guy. Think about how much time he spent away from the woman that he married, supposedly, allegedly. Shirley, he spent a lot of time away from her. She saw part of him. I think, to be completely honest with you, simply me, I'm going to say we probably know the most about Nesto because we've been exposed to all of his sides, all of his phone calls, and every person that he speaks to exposes a different side. And since we watch all of these visits and we listen to all of these calls, I would venture to say that we as the Shirley Strawberry Nesto community know more about Nesto than any of these people combined because we've been exposed to all the sides. So probably us. Probably us. Marietta says when he went to jail the first time, I would have called a PI. Yeah, I'm telling you, the red flags were there, and Shirley had on them rose-colored glasses, and she could not see them at all. It was obvious that he's been up to something for a while. Victor DeVille says Shirley is the selling point when the women can't understand and don't trust the mushmouth. Yeah. I think that's a good point. As far as like having Shirley Strawberry in his toolbox. As far as like, this is in my toolbox. So if this don't work, or if they question the way I talk, I'm married to a prominent woman. And that prominent woman is a celebrity, and she's on the Steve Harvey Morning Show, and she sits next to Steve, and we go to these parts. Yeah, all of that comes out of the toolbox whenever everything else isn't working. That's an amazing point, Victor DeVille. Nola Brown says Nesto will not show up, and he's mad that Shirley is not falling apart. Definitely, he wants to. Think about this, Nola Brown. Go back to the call when Shirley said that she was sleeping on an air mattress. Do you remember this man laughing? Your wife that you made a vow to protect, your wife that you made a vow to be with, for better or for worse, tells you that she is sleeping on an air mattress, and you immediately start laughing. When she told him she didn't have a car, he was not concerned with that at all. When she told him that she could not afford shoes, she said, I can't even get a pair of shoes right now. He had no concern. This man wanted to bring her down a peg. And absolutely, he is upset that she's not falling apart, you know. And he keeps saying, and that's the reason why he keeps saying, oh, when I get out, I'm gonna blow up and she gonna come back and it's gonna be, I'm sorry, this, and I should have believed you. He really, really, really wants to be above her. And the fact that he can't probably drives him crazy more than anything else. That girl says Shirley found out who she married. Side him still in the web of lies as he introduced other women in the web of lies he ain't never getting out. Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Sonia eventually, I believe, will eventually figure it out. It's going to be obvious. And I think the trial is going to expose more because right now, she's still believing what he's telling her, or making up her own thing. When the facts come out, when the evidence comes out in the trial, I think Sonia's going to be in for a real rude awakening. So yeah, that's going to come out. Yes, a true sociopath has no true self. They mirror and deceive everybody they're around. They hate authority and submitting, following the law. They have one-track minds. Objective is to use. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bank says, I think in the beginning he thought Sonia was a potential mark, but he got locked up before he found out she was just spinning tales. I think it was a one-night stand gone wrong. I think it was a one-night stand that ended up being, or a fling or an entanglement, that he really thought that he was going to be able to get rid of her. And the timing was just terrible. And, and she, with her stalker tendencies, found him in jail. I really do think that that's what happened. Hey, Miss Pepsi, how you doing, Miss Pepsi? Not Miss Coke? No? Okay. We're in Atlanta, so Coke is a thing here. I'm trying to think, do I ever see Pepsi trucks around here now that I think about it? Atlanta, Pepsi? No, it's just Coke. It's just Coke here. Marietta said, I had a coworker that was victim's DV, and she thought no one knew. We all did, and she couldn't leave her husband. Very sad. These are really sad situations, and as much as we, including me, pick on Nesto and Sonia, the underlying tone of this story is very disturbing. I think the one call that I will never ever get out of my mind is the call between him and Lamont, where Lamont was literally giving him all the cues of DV. So there's a lot of disturbing undertones to this story that I think I think the trial will come out, and people will really, see, what really happened and how bad it really was. Sonia knows he's lying, but he's feeding her emptiness. They're both grifters. Yeah, they are. They are. Miss Pepsi says, I believe he missed it intentionally. He's trying to get the 10 years in for the benefits, but he's not really married to her though. So, so there's that. I mean, he's got the bigamy. I think the bigamy cancels all of that out. And I don't even know if he understands that part of it. Like, you can't really get benefits if you ain't like I can't get, benefits from working at IKEA if I ain't really worked there. Like I've been there a few times, but I ain't never worked there. So, I can't really say where my 401k. So yeah, I think that's it. Lady T, he's a chameleon. Yeah, well, I don't know. Chameleons are actually, beautiful at times, but he does blend into his environment. So, Gina 42 says, I don't know why any woman ever listened to Steve or bought his books. Thank you. I have been saying this for years. I said this last night, and I'm gonna say it again. It has to be the suits. We are a very image conscious society. You can say anything in a suit. If you think about the best grifters in the country, in America, that we've ever seen, those grifters all had on suits. Nobody was wearing a t-shirt and some jeans. Everybody had on a suit, from Kevin Samuels to Steve Harvey selling books to just name them, Bernie Madoff. If you think about the greatest grifters, and the people that have like got away with the most, they all wore suits. Nesto has on a good suit. He was arm candy. um Steve Harvey wears a suit. He gets his custom made. Awesome. So some kind of way, the suit makes you a guru. The suit makes you an expert. And I think that's what it is. Because if you go back and actually look at the things that he says, it's awful advice. And I think, like, they can fly under the banner of, well, this is just entertainment, this is, whatever. I think that they hide under that guise, but yeah, they've said some really, really, really bad things to people, and people listen to them, and I don't know. I think the situation is a bought and will be paid in full experience and lessons for Shirley at the end, the book of the Chronicles of the Nasty Nestos, aka Ernie, in my opinion. Yeah, definitely. And I think if I was advising Shirley, which obviously I'm not, but if I did advise her, I would take this route. I would absolutely use this as, I would turn it around, because yes, okay, you're not that great at giving advice, right? But now here's an experience where here's what I learned. This is what happened to me, and here's what I learned from this experience. These are the red flags I ignored, and it took a community of strangers to get me to see these red flags. These are the things that I hid from the people that were closest to me, and here's why I should not have done that. She can absolutely spin this if she has the courage to do that, and make this and completely transform her image, and not only transform her energy, but help other people that are in her situation, or find themselves with a guy that they're not really sure of, or the red flags are being ignored, or whatever. She can absolutely be an advisor at this point, regarding that. Sonia is preaching to the potential jury, except we don't know if those people watch YouTube. So I mean, I get what she's trying to do, but it's not really the best strategy, like, in the least. I mean, it's crazy, actually. Trust in My Destiny says, I think if a plea is offered, he take it, because, as you said, he doesn't want everyone to know the different sides of him. He code switches depending on who he's talking to. I just trust in My Destiny. I don't know that they would want to give him a plea. A plea would indicate that there would have to be, like, someone above him that they're trying to get, or or what other, what would be the incentive of Da Wooten to give him a plea? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he'd take it if it was offered, but I don't know that it would be offered. I mean, I don't know. If Joey Sea Dog is in here, maybe he can expound on that part a little bit, but I don't think that they would even be a plea on the table. I mean, yes, Gina 42. She needs to check her pamper, because Hi, Linda Gibbs. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate that. It's Obsessed with the Mess. You were with us last night. Thank you for coming through today. And yes, the flames, in case you all don't know, I know I've been asked about this several times. The flames is my emoji. So I have a flame in all of my logos. And so we have established that the flame is my official emoji. And I feel good about that. I feel good that I have an official emoji. I feel good about that. Thank you for coming through after spending time last night. I appreciate you being here. Simply Me says she's probably watching Making No Stew. Probably so. Probably so. Cross Country Cruise Her. Yes. Says hi to everyone. Thank you for coming through. Victor DeVille says, who would have thought the Global Tel Link is one of the most popping dating apps out there right now? Women are about to start downloading the kiosk app. Yeah, I don't understand the appeal of the guy behind bars. The Wade Wilson thing kind of trips me out with the amount of money that you know, when I think about like all the things that the money that was raised for Wade Wilson can go for, um, you got people that are hungry, you got people that just need help with bills, you got people that are, you know, and I think it's kind of crazy that, you know, and I'm guessing that the people that gave him that money are the same people that say that, you know, handouts are bad, you know, but yet you are willing to give this man who unalived two people 25,000. One person contributed $25,000 to Wade Wilson. um they had that money to hand out to Wade Wilson. But yet when they see homeless people or people that are in need or people that need you know, even children, you know, that are hungry and can't afford their school meals and these things like that, they don't think that, you know, that to help those people. But Wade Wilson, somebody who unalived two people and admitted to it, let's give him $25,000. And that was just one person. The amounts of, you know, the $100 donations, the $200 donations, the $5, all that counts, you know, and it all counts to me as a handout. So it's kind of hypocritical when I think about that, but you know, just my opinion. Linda Gibbs says, my feelings looking at Shirley's facial expressions was her saying, damn, 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 in a Floyd Evans voice. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You felt that. You felt it in her face. You felt her emotion then. The biggest lies he's telling Sonia are he loves her and he's innocent. Yes. Yes. I have nothing to add to that. Yes, absolutely. Jennifer, his original thoughts are all criminal. That's why he likes for other people to do this talk. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he does. He does. Yes, it is great to hear in a male way in men, no men, boys. Yeah. I have said several times that I know, you know, I might not know Nesto, but I know some Nestos that are not as much now, but I think coming up in my 20s and in my 30s, between living in Florida, living in New Orleans, and, you know, just being around the entertainment industry. Yeah, I knew some Nestos, you know, and so being able, you know, seeing the way that he talks and the things that he's done and things he's been accused of, I know some Nestos. So absolutely, you know, I love to share my perspective on it because, you know, I'm I think that we have to talk about these things and we have to talk about them in a holistic manner, right? So if a majority of the audience and the community is women who are expressing themselves, I think that it's important that we as men that know better should be able to express ourselves as well. So absolutely. Sonia lacks common sense. Her idea of good news community. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. That's a good point, Lady T-Bar. You don't know what good news means to her. Yes. Ben says, Nesto's mindset objective is always, how can you benefit me? He has a criminal mindset. Absolutely. Absolutely, he does. Behind all those I love yous becomes, did you call so-and-so? Did you do this? Did you do that? I love you, but did you also do this for me? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Victor DeVille says, he's not honest with anyone, and I hate when he says, just look at the facts. What a set of facts does he wants to look at? The warrant, his tall tales, or Sonia's high retelling of his lies. If you remember when Villanor called her on that Tuesday night, that infamous Tuesday night phone call to Sonia, she informed Sonia that Nesto had indeed talked to the Roswell police. Sonia, in her heart of hearts, is saying that he's never been interviewed. When Sonia said that to Nesto, at no point did Nesto ever say, "Oh, I did talk to them." No, 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 no. He has maintained her lie that he's never been interviewed. Nesto was interviewed by Roswell police, and he has definitely not, you know, not said that to her. So yeah. Jennifer says she doesn't have a passport or money to travel abroad. Absolutely not. Absolutely. Think about Dion. I need $250. Well, why? You know, first of all, why you talking to me like that? Second of all, why you ain't got it? Because this is your boyfriend. What you doing? Well, I just don't want to be the only one that's doing it, and I can get it. I can get it. Okay. Well, then why are you calling this man and yelling at him like you his real mama? Stop. Sonia B says she just said she doesn't have a passport. She did say that. She did. She did. She said that. She said, I don't have a passport. But now all of a sudden, she has a passport. Mm-hmm. Miss Kim says people love a redemption story. If Shirley turns her story into being taken advantage of or finding herself, she'll be fine. I Yes, Miss Kim, you're correct. I just think that she needs to add the portion um of finding herself, but also at this point becoming an advisor, and giving that advice, because what she does with the Shirley Strawberry with the strawberry letters, I'm sorry, what she does with the strawberry letters is she's imagining someone else's situation, right? She's not been in all these situations that these letters are coming in about. She hasn't been in those. She's just giving what she now she has the opportunity to give advice that is firsthand. This is what I have been through. Here is how you get through it. Here's how you overcome it. Here's what you look for. She has the opportunity to give firsthand advice and not imaginary advice or advice of, if I was in your shoes, this is what I would do. No, she has an opportunity to expose her own shoes and tell people, like, this is what it was like being in my shoes. Now here's how I can help you if you're in that same situation. I think that's the perfect opportunity for her to do that. So I believe, but absolutely it's an opportunity. Ban says, I don't believe even his family sociopaths have many dark secrets. Yeah. Brenda Wright says, it don't take that long to get a passport. I got mine in 1 week. Yes, but you are not Sonia Wallum Durham Jackson Jr. She is cash strapped. I'll just say it like that. And she probably hasn't done that because she is a liar. Brenda Wright, I don't think you're a liar. I don't think you're a liar. So I think that's the stark difference. And you probably were able to afford the fees. You probably were able to go down to your local courthouse or wherever you applied. I know when both times when I applied and reapplied for mine, I had to go down to the DeKalb County Courthouse. I was able to get in with no problem. They were able to get me my passport. So I don't think getting the passport is the problem. I think Sonia has a lot of other things that would prevent her from getting a passport. I'm just saying, Rain says, I think Nesto felt he hit a lick walking into that radio station. That was part of the plan. Absolutely. And I think this is why we have to hold Steve Harvey a little bit accountable. I know he didn't introduce them, but he did allow Nesto to use his platform to build up this grand entrance and this grand scheme of marrying Shirley. So he was an accomplice to Nesto's plan, whether he knew it or not. I think Steve Harvey should have vetted Nesto a little bit better because, he always talks about his brand. He always talks about his name. Why did you allow somebody that you obviously didn't know that well to use your brand and your platform to make such a big, huge thing out of this thing, out of this wedding proposal? I think that Steve should have done a better job with that. So I do hold him just a little bit, not 100%. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying because there was a rumor that he had introduced them. I'm not saying that because I know that's not the case. But I do think that he could have been a little bit more responsible with his platform than to let this whole thing happen because, as we have seen, it has not aged well at all. And, the type of person that he is, that he ended up being, Steve should have saw this coming. I mean, for him to be, the great, Steve Harvey, like he's supposed to be, and have all this wisdom and knowledge, but yet you let a Nesto slip under your radar. Patrice says Steve sounds just as ignorant as Nesto. Bingo! I am. you are always has. Dre reminded Nesto that he said he never loved Shirley, and then Dre, realizing that we heard that, came back and tried to take it back. But I believe Dre the first time. Yes, he did. Jennifer says he laughed and said, I never thought you would be. Yeah. Jennifer also says she has no life. Sonia isn't going anywhere. Right. No, she's not. That girl says he was laughing with the side hand. Is that? Yeah. Lexi the law nerd says Sonia is still hoping that she can get a come up off this situation. She wants to be famous. She does. So when I thought about this, I really do believe that she is going to try to spin this, no matter how the trial comes out. I think that if Nesto is found guilty, which is the greatest probability that he will, I think that she thinks that from this, she will spin off into some sort of housewife situation, some sort of reality show situation. I think that she's banking on that, which I think that's why she's still in Atlanta. I think that like she realizes that this is probably going to turn out bad for him, but she keeps pressing on because, yeah, I think she actually thinks that people would want to tune in and watch her, or someone would want to give her a big, huge amount of money to be on TV, and we're good watching her for free. It's good. Jilly May is a bougie, vibing intellect, and Jilly May, you are a part of the tribe. Like and describe, as Dre said. Hey, Native in chat. Hey, Jilly May, how you doing? Janetta is in the house. Janetta says Sonia will not believe the facts when they come out in the trial. I think it's inconsequential for her. I don't think she really cares either way at this point. I think that it's not about belief at this point. I think that I had heard it said like a little while ago that if he is found guilty, that she's going to turn into the victim. You know, she's going to turn and say, I was lied to. He lied to me. I'm a victim. Give me money and put me on TV. And I don't think nobody is crazy enough to do that. Let's see. Rain says you are refreshing, native, and extremely diplomatic. Thank you, Rain. I'm trying my best. Niner girl says Sonya knows doggone well Nesto is lying, but her insecurity and pride won't let her walk away. She doesn't want to lose. At this point, that's what it is. It's about her not losing. That's her biggest thing right now. That is true. Obsessed with the Nest says a lot of pastors. Okay. A lot of pastors. Oh, you talking about the suits? The thing with the suits? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think oh wait, hold on. I do love a man in a good suit. Yeah, right. Yeah, so true. Image is everything. Image fools people all the time. You know, if you go back and just look at the best scammers, the first place they go is to get a suit. You know, as Kim says, Steve Harvey used his past as a player to appeal to single women. Very good point. Very good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. Sonya B coming through with the flames. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Joey. Joey is in the house. I appreciate you coming through, Joey C Dog. Joey C Dog says saves money and time. Simply Me says I don't think he will get a plea deal, but I think he will change his change his charge to his plea to guilty so he can avoid all this coming out in trial. Simply Me, I think that would be smart, but Simply Me, is he going to listen to Sonya or is he going to listen to his lawyers? You know, I think like he really. What I'm trying to judge at this point in the game, because the stuff is coming out from August, and these are recent calls now. I want to see if his taking of Sonya advice, because he thought she was the smartest thing going, and I just want to see, has that changed, or is he going to start listening to Sean? My suits are too tight. Hoover. We're gonna see which one he's going to do. Clutch on My Pearl said the Wade Wilson story creeps me out. I can't watch or listen to his voice. Wade is that dude. Did you all see in the sentencing when they were reading, like did you see the way that he was looking around? I mean, he looked around as if something was about to happen. Like I was watching, like, why does he keep looking like this man is being sentenced to the needle right at this point, right? But his look, the way he was looking around, I was like, wait, is something about to happen? Like what is going on? Like the lights were about to go out or something. I don't know. He was on to something. Jilly May is a bougie, vibing insel. I love your name. I love that. It is interesting to me that with all of his finessing, that he didn't leave a stash at his auntie's house. Right. Nah, I think his finesse is like in present time, like it's in real time. I don't think that he is a like forward thinker, obviously. But I think that's what it is. So unfiltered doll reactions, another great content creator has come through, and she's saying hello. That's probably the most Spanish that I know, but she's coming through saying hello. Um, if you get a chance to stop by the Unfiltered Dollhouse, she will have some snacks for you if you don't like her content. There's a big pink glowing exit sign, and there will be some probably unappealing snack for you to leave if you're not with the shits in her live. So so definitely go check out my people, Unfiltered Doll Reactions. It's a good time over there, trust me. Prince Michael says, I was able to travel outside the country with a birth certificate. Okay, well, I don't think, son, you got one of them. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Penny Dud says, finally caught alive. Nesto thinks he's something with his 16 letters. Wade gets tripled at one day. Yeah. I mean, if we're going to compare, like, you know, fan bases, yeah. Wade definitely has some beat. 1973194993 says Sonia is a felon. No lies told. That is not alleged. That is true. Niner Girl says Steve may have forgiven Shirley, but Marjorie maybe not so much. And according to what we know, Marjorie runs the show. So I mean that's you know that's true. Clutch on My Pearl says Shirley being single and celibate was a running joke on the show for a few years. Yeah, that was one of the things when I was listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show. It was way before Nesto came into the picture. So yeah, that was always a thing, and I always felt like it was unfair for them to pick on her like that, but they did. It was always a running joke, and at some point, you know, the running joke has to get old. And I think maybe, you know, I'm not saying that this is what caused her to jump at the first guy that liked her, but at the same time, it would kind of cause you to jump at the first guy that likes you just to get them off your back like that. So I think so. Simply Me says, honestly, Shirley wouldn't have listened. She didn't care what her own daughter said. Yeah, Simply Me. I mean, you know, I share the story all the time about, you know, my sister, and, you know, my sister was married to a very horrible guy, and for a very long time. And we, the collective family, tried to tell her not to marry this guy. And but she did anyway, and stayed married to him for a very long time. It was miserable for a very long time. So yes, even sometimes, you know, we as family can't penetrate, you know. Miss Pepsi says, I can't stand Steve Harvey. He's so full of crap. How can you be married 3 times and give anyone marriage advice? I've heard people say, when I pose the same question, they say, well, because he's been married 3 times, he knows things. He can give advice. He's been through things. My rebuttal to that is, if I have a restaurant and a guy comes in and tells me that he's burned down 3 different kitchens, I'm not in any capacity going to say, let me hire this guy because he has cooking experience because he's burned down 3 other restaurants. No, I'm going to stay as far away from this guy and tell him to get the hell out of my face. I'm not hiring you. You don't know how to keep a restaurant from burning down. That's the way I look at it. But a lot of people have told me that because of all his things that he's done, that some kind of way makes him a giving advice. I don't know. It don't make sense to me. X is too complicated says, look at Steve's attitude and his relationship with his own blood children versus Marjorie's children. Yeah, there's a lot of indicators that Steve would not be good at giving it. There's a lot. Gina 42 says, yeah, Dre backpedaled and popped all over this. Nasty Never said he loves Cher. I think there's some kind of way that like Dre kind of came back and was like, because Dre is super conscious of like the YouTube streets. He made that obvious that he listens to Nyla. He made it obvious that he listens to Real Talk Bougie. So he listens to the YouTube streets. And I think that when he knew that was coming out and he knew that we were going to jump all over that, he felt it necessary to come back. Because when he first said, you always said you never loved Shirley, Nesto never said, no, I didn't. Nesto never said you wrong about that, partner. You know, my partner got that wrong. He ain't say nothing like that. He went right along with it. Because if somebody told me I didn't love my wife, I'd be like, what you talking about? I ain't never told you that. That would have been the first response, but that's not how Nesto responded. So yeah, he did. There was some some backpedaling going on. Absolutely. Cool Weather Farmer says, hi, Native and everyone. Well, hello, Cool Weather Farmer. Thank you for coming through. You know, it's a Saturday afternoon. I know everybody's got their things that they got going on this weekend. Hopefully everybody has a 3-day weekend. I know I do, and I'm grateful for that. So thank you all for coming through. I really do appreciate it. The Pasarazzi says, hey guys, hello Pasarazzi. A lady 747, thank you for coming through. I know you were there with us last night. Everybody was there with me and Vic and Bank and Succeeding last night that came through today. Thank you, because I know we did it for a while. But she says Shirley Strawberry doesn't have a choice but to press on. Yeah, she doesn't have a choice. So that's why I think that she needs to pick the best strategy on how to do that pressing on and move forward and hopefully benefit other people, you know, in a real way. You know, because I don't feel like the Strawberry letter benefits people in a real way. It is entertaining to listen to some of those letters, but I think that now she has an opportunity to, in a real way, affect people's lives, and I think that that's really cool. If she chooses to do it that way. Gia and Austin come with us. From the last visit in text, he has already dismissed her. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I know the text that you're talking about, but I will definitely look at it to see. Wait, hold on. Love and Light says, I like and describe. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you. I appreciate you. Niner Girl says, there are 1,000 Sonias in the hood just trying to prove they're down ass or ride or die. Absolutely. Absolutely. When you think about the way that she says stuff, the way she talks irritates me. It really, really, rah. Yeah. You get me? You get me? She's a zesty little dude. Anyway, Virgo Cali is in the house. Virgo season, I think it started, right? I think we in it. Are we in it? Because my birthday's coming up in a couple weeks, so I think we're in it. Virgo Cali, let's do it. Let's do it big. Lady Bathsheba says a cell next to Nesto would be good for Bonnie too. I mean, she is a zesty little dude, so they could go to the same prison. I don't know. Sonia B says that's Sonia's best bet for a come up. Go the victim route and run the media circuit. Here's the thing, though. She's not that interesting. Like when you think about this, what will end up happening if she attempts to do that, which she probably will attempt to do it. The first thing that people are going to say is, but why did you stay all that time? You know, she wasn't being strung along like the rest of his victims. She was voluntarily there. She had an out when they were quote unquote breaking up, right? So there was an out that was there, but she didn't take the out. You know what I mean? Like, so people are going to be like, why would you volunteered to be there? Like, there was no reason for you to actually stay. So it's gonna flame out for her. I you know, she's not gonna be. It's not gonna work out the way she thinks it is. I really don't think so. Niner Girl says Shirley knew Nesto's previous victim, Ebony Steele. Shirley knew better, just like Sonia, but they thought they would be different. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I think there's all truth to that. Ban says he's impulsive. It's hand to mouth or possessions. Yeah. PW says, it just dawned on me. Why would Steve recognize a person marrying to work the long con and gain access to upper class when that's exactly what happened to him? It's very true. You raise a very good point. that is a very good point. Absolutely. Unfiltered Doll Reactions. Please go check her out. Absolutely entertaining. Yes, if you would like to tip your host, you can Cash App me. It'll be greatly appreciated. I am going to probably be able to start some memberships pretty soon. I do always like to let you all know that you know, your tips and donations do go to a great cause. You know, I am, you know, in not necessarily need of, but wanting to upgrade some equipment, you know, to bring y'all the best possible content, the best possible letters, and, you know, just to be able to do those creative things. It does cost a little bit. So supporting me in any way possible, whether it's with likes, whether it's with, you know, sharing the videos, whether it's with Cash App, it all goes towards that cause of helping me get get this whole Native tribe films, to where I want it to be. And I promise you, it will be good. And thank you in advance. Only Me 23 says I love Unfiltered Doll. And the reason why you love Unfiltered Doll is because Unfiltered Doll is lovable. Love her content. Tanya B. Deal says I'm late. No, you're not. Party don't start till you get here, Tanya B. Deal. So you are on time. Yes. Shout out to the Unfiltered Doll. she is sincerely. She is very entertaining. I'm thinking about some of the stuff. It's in my head that she's saying, so that's why I'm laughing. But yeah, she's great. Rain says, honestly, don't think people really took Steve very serious. He was more funny. Rain, I've talked to some people that have quoted him. Yeah, there is a segment of people that actually took him or take him or still take him serious. I mean, they look at his shows and they look at, they made him some kind of judge of some sort. So so there are people that take him serious. That girl says Nesto gonna plead guilty. He don't want them filthy charges out. He have to survive in that prison by pleading guilty. He can lie like he did with the same reason he took 10 years on that armed robbery charge. Yeah, true. I think there's a lot of angles for there's a lot of angles. Yeah. Come on, algorithm. That's what I'm talking about. Niner Girl says Shirley is a bit nice nasty too. She talked about her friends and her daughter right along with Nesto before she knew the public would hear. Yeah, ain't that something? That's one thing about these phone calls. They have exposed, like, before they knew that they were coming out. Yeah, Shirley was talking big shit. She was. Absolutely she was. Hey, just Nikki, how you doing today? How's everything going on a Saturday? In Harmon, I can't explain the YouTube algorithm and what it does and what it don't do. I know I posted a little, this one wasn't spontaneous. I actually gave everybody a 2-minute warning that I was coming on. So I don't know what happened, but in Harmon, I'm glad you're here. You know it. Shaw Willie Conversations with says, greetings. I went to bed early last night. Missed y'all. It was good. Go back and check the replay. Go to Legacy Moon. Check the replay. We had a good time. It was good. It's long, I'll give you that. But if you need some background conversation while you're cleaning up or whatever you're doing, we had a great live last night. It was really good. All night long. All night. Yeah. Lionel Richie. We was up all night. Unfiltered Doll says, I feel like she needs to do her second book deal. Yeah, if it's interesting. A publisher would have to take a long look at that to see if they can really, make their money back off of a Shirley Strawberry book. She's not the celebrity that she should be, put it like that. As long as she's been doing the Steve Harvey Morning Show, Shirley Strawberry should be just as much of a name as Steve is. But I promise you, when I talk to people about Shirley Strawberry, they say, who is that? That's the first thing that they say. If you're not in this sector or not dealing with this as invested as we are as far as time is concerned, I don't know. If I'm a publisher, I'm going to take all that into consideration and say, am I really going to spend $1 million, $2 million with publishing and, marketing this book for somebody that isn't a firsthand name? Even this story hasn't gotten traction outside of, like, maybe TMZ may have gotten it once or twice, but it's barely even on local news here in Atlanta. So I don't know if that would be an investment that they would take with her. But I mean, and then they would also have to consider, like, how did her first book do? All of that stuff. So I don't know. I think that if there is opportunity out there, of course she should take it. But I don't know. That girl says, even if Sonia cried a victim, it won't help her, mainly because how sneaky her and Nasty treated Shirley and with her money. And that's the other thing. To your point, I think that what Villanor was trying to explain to her was, do you realize that by lying about everything and saying that you don't owe anybody the truth, that ultimately hurts anything else that you try to put out? because she's saying that she doesn't owe anybody the truth. Well, then once you cry victim, why would anybody believe you now? You know, and I think, like, again, we're not dealing with forward thinkers. We're not dealing with people that um we're not dealing with people that understand the consequences of what they're doing right now, you know, and I think that that's going to hurt her in her attempt to do that. Nola Brown, I will stick with the fact that she is a zesty little dude. Um, she had the nerve to call me some dude, and to some extent, I'm still not over that. Just so you know. So she is a zesty little dude. Paparazzi says, "Do you think his lawyers were there because of the last hearing where they were saying Nesto and Shirley weren't married until 2022? That would make the bigamy charge null." I think that they were there in some in some relation to that. Yes, I do. I do think that. Janetta says Sonia stayed because Sylvia talked her into. Goodness. Are we really gonna bring up Slowrilla today? We hadn't talked about Slowrilla all day during this whole hour and a half we've been here, but is she listening to Slowrilla? Probably so. Nina Girl says they were never breaking up. Her feelings were hurt. She's been there before. It's a familiar place for her. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Penny Proud throwing up the flames. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Unfiltered doll, you are not that shy. Come on now. Come on now. Y'all go check my people out for real. She's amazing. She really is. April B says I never received any notification. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I tried to let y'all know. I tried to let y'all know as soon as I knew. Jen 42 says, yes, Shirley called people in her circle some haters. Still haven't figured out what she thought people were hating on over 60 and broke ain't no flex, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was. I think sometimes when we try to give advice, you know, if you come from like a true place of I love this person enough to tell them the truth, I think that people will take that as quote unquote hating. And I think that that's what Shirley Strawberry was thinking, like, oh, I'm finally happy. You know, I finally, you know, found somebody I can be with, and now everybody's telling me he's not good, so you all must be hating, and not taking a, you know, just a step back and thinking, you know, and just thinking that that they're trying to help, you know. Native tried Steve Harvey's suit or not is not appealing. I mean, I'm just saying that's what I can't figure out what the appeal to some people is. Some people, you know, they you know they like old Steve. The only way Shirley book will be interesting is if she really gives it up, it being the truth, including what she knew and knows. I tell you what, Nina girl, let's see how big this trial gets. Let's see how big of attention this trial gets. That would then determine like how interested people would be in her truth. You know what I mean? In knowing if the trial is like a big deal, yeah, people are probably going to come after her for, you know, what really happened and what her perspective was on everything. So I think so. There's definitely opportunity. Definitely opportunity. Slowberry called people regular people. She looks down on non-celebrity people. I agree. I agree. From what I've been told, I've never met this woman before. I've never seen her in Atlanta. I know some people have. The people that have run into her here have said something similar to that, that she doesn't, if you're not a celebrity, that she doesn't necessarily think that you are worth speaking to. That's alleged because, again, it hasn't been my experience. I don't know. Zesty little dude is hot. Yeah, she is. She is hot. Niner girl, if Sonya stopped accepting calls and stopped visiting, she would fade away into the sunset like Dre. She doesn't want to stay out of the limelight. Yeah, she's loving all of this. She is loving every part of this, no matter what she says. She enjoys us roasting her. She enjoys the attention. Yeah, she that is totally her thing right now. So yeah. Hey, let's talk about it. All has come through. She says, hey, at Native Tribe. And I say, hey, at A, let's talk about it all. How are you on this Saturday afternoon? Hope everything is going well. Hope you are enjoying. If you got the day off, hope you're enjoying it. If you happen to be listening to me on the job, I hope you're enjoying that. Just make the most out of today. It is Saturday. Thank you all for coming through and being a part of the tribe. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Shirley should start a podcast. She could. I mean, I think she has enough of a name to do that, and maybe that would give her some exposure. Tell me, Miss Kim, what should her podcast be about? Because you can only talk about Nesto for so long. If she's already got the Shirley Strawberry letter on, or the Strawberry letter on the Steve Harvey Morning Show, what do you think that her podcast would be about exactly? That would draw people in. I'm interested in to know what you would think about that. I guess that makes Nesto scamming as yeah. Interesting. I love a lady 747. She makes me laugh all the time. We got some more flames in the chat. Miss Pepsi says, when Sonia mentions Africa or Canada, I believe they are marks. She's trying to finesse. Could be. I feel like when we talk about them talking in code, I feel like that takes a level of intelligence that Sonia doesn't have. Sonia's not a smart person. Not one little bit. She is not a smart person at all. And so to come up with different like code words and stuff, I don't be knowing about that. I think I really do think that she is I don't know. I just don't have that much respect for her intelligence, put it like that. Nina Girl says, please check the correlation between Sonia's broken relationship with her mother and her disdain for Black women. She's always speaking negatively about Black women. Yeah, there's a level of self-hate that does correlate between that, and that probably is where that comes from. But me being as proud of being Black and me loving Black women as much as I do, it kind of it fuels my dislike for Sonia a lot, because she talks about Black women, she talks about Black people, and a lot of the things that she's saying, she's repeating a lot of white supremacist talking points. And so when she does that, it makes you wonder, where does that self-hate come from? And in the vitriol that she has for Black people and Black women specifically is very, very disturbing. So yeah. Shirley's too worried about her image. In my opinion, she's not doing a book. I don't think she will. I think the first book that came out was her, pushing the whole Strawberry letter, but I don't think that she is interested in telling everybody the ins and outs of that, Rain says, Native, you are really good at this. I think you're about to blow up. Man, Rain, if I blow up, I'm bringing all y'all with me. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. There is room for us all at the top. I love my tribe. So I I hope that I can be successful at this. And your support and everybody's support has been so amazing to me. And I'm so humbled that 171 people would stop by to spend time with me on this Saturday. So I thank you for your kind words. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Thank you. After this real-life criminal history of Nesto, I will not be watching and wasting my time on Lil' Hair Sonia. Yeah, she is Lil' Hair, all right. Yeah. A lady 747 says, yeah, I don't see a Shirley podcast as being interesting at all. I mean, what can she do, like, at this point in the game? What could she do that would make, like, I think, like, when it comes to things like podcasts and things like that, somebody that would sponsor a podcast for Shirley Strawberry would have to be looking at, what can this woman bring to the table that she's not bringing to the table at Steve Harvey? Like, can she cook? Can she build houses? Can she, can she fix a transmission? Like, what is it that Shirley Strawberry brings to the table outside of the Shirley Strawberry letter that she does with Steve Harvey? I don't know. And, and I'm not saying that she wouldn't be successful. From what I've seen of her and heard her talk about over all these years, I just don't know what else it is for her to talk about. But, Zesty Lil Dude and Mammy Fresh, don't that sound like a rap group you would listen to? I ain't gonna lie. Hey, let's talk about it. Says you have a great radio voice. Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story about my. At one point, somebody told me this, and at one point, I actually took it serious. And I actually we had a new radio station in Pensacola that had just started out. We had been listening to WBLX in Mobile. That was our station. We were in Alabama, but now we had a radio station in Pensacola, and everybody was like, "You should go." And I went, and them people looked at me like I was crazy. So that kind of killed my radio dream. I took it personal, and I took it personal, and I never tried again. But you never know what would happen. We live in it. That was a long time ago, and now a lot of technology has opened up. So I'm here with you all right now. I appreciate the compliment, and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna leave the door open, like Bruno Mars says. Dimples Wimple says Shirley can't write down a phone number correctly to start a podcast. Ooh, she sure can't. I mean, she sure can't. Lord have mercy. And Harmon says her podcast should be about red flags when you should leave the relationship and run. Yeah, but again, in Harmon, is she gonna like put her pride aside to do that? Like, I think like that's what makes her unique is that her pride and her image and everything is her thing. Um, Sonia has mommy issues. She definitely does. Unfiltered Dog says she's not black. She's 52 white. Shirley would have to tell us about the mask and the liquid V, and she is not going to do that. Not at all. Sonia reminds me of Diamond and Silk, the Trump supporters with the crazy hairstyles. Yeah, that's a good comparison. That is a good comparison. We got more flames in the chat. Thank you all for your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That girl says, I truly hate Sonia's voice. It sounds like she's always with food in her mouth. She thinks she's so smart. I hate her voice, but I think like I hate the way that just the way she talks is so annoying. It's like she tries to have like a New York accent, then she tries to be like a down homie. You get me, right, right. Like it's so. It's the, yeah, it's all of that. Oh, what a tangle web we weave. Gloria here, first person I talked about this mess with. Yes. Come on through, Gloria. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah, we had a good conversation about that. Lexi, the law nurse, says we have found our tribe. And look, I am so happy that I have found you all. Again, every day when I wake up, it's a part of my day. Part of my day is spent thinking, how can I entertain my tribe? Like, how can I make these letters the best that they can be? And what else can we do? These lives have been a new thing, a learning experience for me. First time doing them. I've watched lives for a long time on YouTube. Never thought I'd be doing my own, but now that I'm doing them, how do I make this the best that it can be, and and expand? So, we have found our tribe. I found you all, and I could not be happier at all. Thank you so much, Lexi the Law Nerd. Red Flags with Strawberry. That's a good title. That's an awesome title. I like that. It's appropriate. It's appropriate. We got Niner Girl again. Says, I appreciate this channel and the male perspective. I subscribe. Thank you, Niner Girl. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You have no idea how much it means to me. I'm just a guy with a cat and a camera. And you all have welcomed me into this community with open arms, and I thank you so much for that. I'm forever grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sonia is Elizabeth Warren's cousin from their daddy side. Really? Really now? It's interesting. That's very interesting. Let me digest that for 1 minute. That's interesting. Rain says, I think Steve wanted Shirley to be happy. She had just lost all that weight and was feeling really good about herself. I don't know. Yeah. I think so, but I think I really do think that look, it's Steve Harvey, and not from my mouth, but from his mouth, he's the biggest thing ever. He's the guru. He's got all this expertise on all this stuff. I really think that for his own to protect not just Shirley, but his platform, to be taken seriously, because guess what? That clip from that proposal is still out there. And when Nesto walks in, he walks past the Steve Harvey Morning Show logo. So to protect his brand, he should have done his homework. And in doing that, he protects Shirley at the same time. So I think that's why I think that, like I said, I'm in no way holding him 100% responsible for what Nesto did or who Nesto was. But at the same time, putting it out there like that, I think he should have did his homework. I really do. Yes, my folks in Mobile. Yeah, the big station. Remember when it was the big station? 93 BLX. That's all Pensacola had. We had to listen to we had to listen to BLX all them years, and as a matter of fact, still do. ALS says if you have a Michigan address, you only need an enhanced license to enter Canada from Michigan. It's a simple drive across the bridge. Usually, the majority go across the bridge to go to the casino. I had no idea. Mystical says, hey, Native in chat. Hello. Gia and Austin, come with us. You could be the next Steve Harvey. Damn it, I want to be the first Native tribe. That's what I want to be, okay? I can't be Steve. I can't see Shirley. I can't be Steve. Now I can't be giving folk bad advice and telling them that a woman just want a man to come home and drink a beer. I can't be Steve. I can't talk like that all day. No. Lion Mom says at some point during this debacle, Sonia jumped all in. If he's on video, she'll yell, set up. I feel like that has assisted in a full break from reality. She sounds worse on every call. But do you think, Lion Mom, do you think something's just wrong with her? I just think the simple answer, something wrong with her. Like I think that there's a disconnect somewhere, either chemically or mentally, or there's just something wrong, because the just her the way she acts. When you look at her mannerisms, she can't sit still. She puts Shrek ears in her head. She believes conspiracy theories. I think something's just wrong. It just seems like something's just not right. As the old people used to say, she's touched, she flicked. I think that she got some issues that's going to require some professional help. That's just my opinion. We got Flames in the chat. Nubian Queen, thank you so much for being here. Love your name. Love your avatar. Thank you. Native, you have such an awesome spirit and great personality. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm telling you, more flames in the chat. Thank you so much. I'm telling you all have no idea that a year ago, I never would have imagined that this is what I would be doing on a Saturday at all. It all fell in my lap, and I consider it. Look, don't think I take anybody for granted. I got 187 people in the chat. I know that's not the biggest number on YouTube, but at the same time, all 186 now. All of you mean so much to me. Thank you so much for just supporting this and listening to me talk, which is all I've done so far. Okay, we back to 188. Everybody that has shown me support, has liked the stuff that I do, has commented. I have so many on the videos, on the letters. There are so many comments that I literally, if you commented 2-3 weeks ago on the Sonia letter, on the Dre letter, if I haven't responded to your comment, it's just because I haven't gotten to all of them. It's so many, and it's just me. I have no staff. I have no helpers. I have nothing. So it's just me. So I literally sit down when I'm at work or whether I'm on a break, and I just sit down and I just read and laugh and appreciate everybody that has come through and left a comment and likes what I do. I take all of your suggestions seriously. All of your suggestions for other letters, I take all of them seriously, and I take them all into consideration on how I would be able to do it. So please, If I haven't responded, it's not because I'm ignoring anybody. It's just that there are so many, and everybody's been so supportive. But I have to take time to thank everybody for everything. Thank you so much. Ben says this is great, balanced dialogue. Thank you so much. Sonia says she's 1/3 white, but of course because she's good with numbers, right? We got some more flames in the chat. Thank you. Sonia is a conspiracy nut job. Phoebe, I have nothing else to add to that. You are 100% right. She is a conspiracy nut job. But I don't understand. So the thing about the whole conspiracy thing is I don't understand when you tell Nesto not to believe the news, yet you believe whatever source is feeding this to you. You don't question that at all. That's perfectly fine. I don't understand how she draws that distinction at all. But I never will because she's Sonia. Because Sonia talks so much, she totally missed that Nesto told her that he needed his new prayer partner. Did she miss it or did she not want to know that? I mean, I'm just saying. Nesto wasn't properly vetted. Nah, I don't think so. The woman he chose is here. Another one of my favorite commenters in these YouTube streets. And she says, hello, Native and friends. Hello, the woman he chose. Andrea says, I listen to BLX growing up every day. I don't know, Andrea, if you remember the conversation I had with V. Lenore about Karen White and how I grew when I was I a senior in high school? I must have been. No, I wasn't a senior. I must have been like 10th or 11th grade. I can't remember. But every morning at 7 o'clock, my clock radio played on 93 BLX, Superwoman, and Karen White woke me up for a whole school year. So it holds a special place in my heart. Yep, the same in New York. We just need an enhanced license to cross the border. That's cool. I'm not really familiar with how that works up there, so that's pretty cool. Clutching my purse. She can't make eye contact. She can't sit still. Like she's always looking around. It's almost like a paranoid kind of like she's always looking around like something's coming to get her. She looks scared all the time. Her edges fell out. All that. She's definitely thrown off and out here without that prescription. Yeah. Thank you for the encouragement. Don't give up on being radio personality. Do people listen to the radio though? When I get in my car, the first thing that happens is that the car connects to my Bluetooth and I'm listening to songs or audiobooks that are on my phone. I'm trying to remember in 2024 when I turned on the radio and was like, I'm just going to listen to the radio. I used to listen to sports talk radio, but sports talk radio in Atlanta is boring for obvious reasons. So I don't even listen to that anymore, but I'm trying to think. I haven't listened to the actual radio. So I think YouTube, Vimeo, all these platforms provide other options outside of the radio. I mean, even if I listen to like Sirius or something like that, I don't even really consider that to be like the radio. So I don't know. I haven't given up on anything. Everything is still on the table, so there's that. But thank you for your encouraging words. I do appreciate you. Native, you've made me change my mind about Pensacola. You've proven that not all are, well, never mind, just keep doing what you're doing. Look, Niner girl, I understand more than you know about what you're trying to say about my hometown and the people that are in it. I understand completely. I understand completely. Pensacola is. I might do now that you mention that kind of a introspective of Pensacola on another podcast, on another episode. I may just do that because I think like it's definitely a different place. And it's definitely why a lot of reasons why I don't live there anymore. But I don't want to get into that today. But thank you for those words. You're too kind. Thank you. Hey, let's talk about it. All says it's definitely something wrong with her. Obviously, she comes across as she's one of those people that the closer you get to her, the further you want to be from her. She's one of those people, and I know you all have been around people like this, so. April B with more flames in the chat. April B, Yes, not yeah, afflicted. You know what I'm talking about when them old people be like, she flicked it, she touched, she the girl ain't right. People been probably saying that about her for a while. Native's trolling ass. My eyes must be off because Native is reading the chest like he wants to. You know, I'm not gonna revisit that. Okay, I'm not gonna revisit that. Nesto is the love of her life, but she looks around more than looking at him. Right? I would, and he looks, and if you look at the contrast, he looked dead at her the whole time. He's looking dead at her, unless he feels like there's some sort of threat coming. Because sometimes he be looking a little paranoid himself. But the whole time he looking dead at the camera, so that he can look at her Michael Kors belt, or he can tell her about how he don't like her hair and she need to stop wearing them ponytails. Yeah. Yes, 165 likes. Yes, flames in the chat. Flames in the chat. Thank you. I love the different perspectives that we are bringing to the table. Absolutely, Bank. And this is why I jumped on today, because I think, like, I wanted to talk specifically about Shirley and what she went through. I just wanted to hear what you all thought about this, because I know what I thought when I saw it, and when I saw it live, I felt bad. Like, and I haven't really, I felt bad for her somewhat, but yesterday I felt bad. Like, I was like, man, this is just, and just kind of like the empathy, just putting myself in her shoes and just saying, like, I think about, let me tell you what I think about. I think about my exes, right? And I think about, if I could not shed myself of them freely, how much that would just be a downer. Even if it was for like 30 more days. They said, like, for 30 more days you got to be with this person, and this person has to be associated with you. So I felt on that. More flames in the chat from a lady 747. Thank you. Yeah, clutch on my pearl. They showing out, and I appreciate that. Miss Fine One says, "Hi, Native. Did you all hear on the most recent call that Sawyer told Nesto that she was sick in her 20s and she was 105 pounds? I just couldn't believe she said that. Something is definitely wrong." Yeah, I think everything that happens associated with this Nesto cinematic universe, I think there is always an underlying issue. So with Sonya, also along with her self-hatred, there's also body image issues with her. She constantly tells us how much she weighs. She constantly talks about how she looks. She has so many, like, issues, and even when she says things that might sound like they're trivial, like, these people always invite me to a pool party. I don't think they know how old I am. Why does that make a difference? If somebody invited me to a pool party, I would either say yes or no. And I don't think, and I wouldn't overthink it and say, oh, they must not know that I'm 47. Why they inviting me? I would just say yes or no, and keep it moving. But she feels the need to try to make it seem like, oh, they think I'm as young as they are, and they want me to come because I'm young. And, so everything that happens to her around her has to do with her own self-image. And everything that that she's associated with. So the other story that she told about the guy in her car, and a guy said to her, that car looks like you. When I see people get into their car in the parking lot, I have never thought to say, I wonder if that car looks like something they would drive. No, I'm minding my business, as 98% of the world does. She lies about these stories because she has a self-image issue also, along with everything else. But yeah, there's definitely a lot going on. Dimples Wimples says, please hit the mother loving like button. I appreciate that, Dimples Wimples, for the friendly reminder. Thank you. We are watching Shrek visiting Donkey. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Sonya is like an onion. She got a lot of layers, and it all stinks. Flames are in the chat. Yes. Thank you. Karen says she has grown children, and yet she can't be still or listen, as if she is a preschooler. Correct. It's uncomfortable to watch. It's very uncomfortable to watch. Janetta says, V. Lenore tried to tell her about the new prayer partner, but she did not want to listen. Right. She did not. She wasn't trying to hear it. She wasn't, because she immediately goes into defensive mode. She immediately starts lying, talking about we just friends, and and obviously we've been reading the text and we know that's not true. So I think like her defensiveness, but her ears perked up a little bit, and I think she might be trying to investigate. But yeah, she's in denial. It's kind of sad. Andrea says, yes, we got some flames in the chat, y'all. We got some flames in the chat. Nana girl, remember, y'all, Sonia and Nesto don't really know each other. They had a short fling and he moved on until she found him in jail. There's no eye contact because they're not connected. But Nana girl, don't you think that the rest of the stuff is like the stuff she do with her mouth and the stuff she do with her mouth and the way she fidget all the time? Don't you think something else wrong though? I get it. I understand that point. But don't you think something else could possibly be wrong with her? I really think that girl needs a lot of help that she ain't getting. But but you're right. They don't know each other at all. And I think it's kind of weird that somebody that you don't know you would be so hard in the paint for, as far as sticking up for them or whatever. But I don't know. Banks says, I got Sirius radio, but don't even listen to it. I listen to YouTube. The only reason I keep it, I really don't know. Might have to call you folks on Monday. Look, don't be like Sonia and not actually call them folks on Monday, okay? Clutching My Pearl says, you should do a station head station a few times a week or a month. I will look into that because I don't know what that is. I'm not familiar with that. Is that kind of like Spotify or something like that, where they have like the different stations? I'm not sure what that is. So expound, or you can, send me an email. I'm always willing. Like I said, everything is on the table for me. So Minding Business says, you are so polite. I know your mama raised you right. I believe that my mama did, and I will pass that on to her so that I can remind her that I'm her best child, which is obviously true. The woman he chose says, Sonia, break from reality is concerning. Her family, if they care, should really step in and try to help her. I can see her spiraling out of control if Nesto would ever stop calling her. Yeah, I think, but Sonia is like 56, I think. I think that her family at this point probably thinks that she's a lost cause. Honestly, like I don't think they might be looking at her. Just as a lost cause, and like, why are we spending? And she probably would reject any help that they try to get anyway, if we're going by her personality. Janetta says, if I remember correctly, I believe Pensacola used to be a part of Alabama. I know Mobile used to be in Louisiana. I'm not sure about that, because I believe Pensacola was settled by the Pensacola Indians in the Panhandle. I know that Spain occupied Florida. I'm not sure about. I'll double check that before I know whether that's right or wrong. But yeah, Pensacola is what Pensacola is. We got more flames in the chat. We got Honeybee. Nola Brown says Pensacola is definitely a Navy town. I was born at the Navy Hospital, so yeah, it's definitely true. Nesto stares at Sonia because he knows she's lying and busted. He laughs at her, not with her. That's a very, very, very good case. Very good observation. Nana Girl also says, imagine being locked up at Nesto's age and your wife pulling away. He needs Sonia to eat, commissary, and send messages. Yeah, that's very true. Lady Bashua says, Native, you're enjoying your group and taking care of your smoky puss also. Yeah. Smokey helps me with production. I know that sounds crazy, but let me give y'all an example. I was filming let me see, which one was it? I was filming the Dion letter, and I had a light that I couldn't quite figure out where it was supposed to go. And Smokey came in and she sat by the light, and then she sat by where it should go, and I moved it, and it was perfect. So that's my production assistant. I pay her in treats, so she is so she's my helper. Ben says, Native, you are right. I haven't heard those terms since I was a child. I'm telling you, Sonya heard them all her whole life. And a girl says Sonya wants Nesto to be jealous so bad, but he couldn't kill her. She's not. Nah, Nesto is not a romantic dude. He don't look at her like, it's easy to tell somebody I love you. It's easy to tell somebody, hey, my woman, my love. But when you look at the way he even looks at her, nah, that's not a thing. That's not a thing for him. PW says, I'm thinking the prayer partner is either Tashima or that older lady in Cali that Dre uses to tell was always asking about him since he mentioned call Dre too. No, I think it's Tashima though. If you look at the text that Tashima has sent to him and look at the advice and everything, I think that was like the lead-in was like we could pray together and talk about the Bible, and her dad was a pastor and all this stuff. So I think it's Tashima. I don't think them people out in California are studying Nesto at this point. Real Nurse Jackie, thank you so much for coming through. Love your picture on your profile here. I appreciate you coming through. It's Saturday, and you trust me, there's a lot of other places you could be, but you hanging out with the tribe, and I appreciate everybody here. I appreciate you for coming through, Real Nurse Jackie. Thank you so much. I do want the prayer partner to be Tashima. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. I really do. Let's see. Angels Cry 1527 says the gig is up. That's Sonya pretending to be Nesto's love interest. Hey y'all. Hey Native mods and chat. Happy Saturday, y'all. The only thing about the whole it's really Sonya thing is that number one, Sonya isn't that smart. Number two, she kind of dogs Sonya a little bit if you look at some of the letters. And Sonya's ego is not set up to either pretend to dog herself or to say anything negative about, herself. I think that Sonya's dislike of Dion would not make her in any capacity tell Nesto to call Dion or to call Drake, because she doesn't like either one of them. I think it's an interesting conspiracy, but I don't think Sonya is intelligent enough to pull that off. Clutching My Pearl says Station Head is an app that allows you to curate your own show with your choice of music combined with commentary. Interesting. I'll look into it. Clutching My Pearls. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you dropping that in. Rain says, honestly, Sonya has made this whole thing very interesting because you actually cannot believe what's coming out of her mouth. She don't believe what's coming out of her mouth. She just says things. I don't think she just says things. I mean, I don't know. Something's wrong. Honeybee 61 says, I think she showed up to see where she stood with Nesto. She couldn't get him to comment on certain subjects, nor them darn nails, but had to throw shot that he was in her car. Yeah, absolutely. Akila Cook says, can we talk about something better than so you and Mr. have getting the initiative hooked up as a couple, just being messy? Sorry, Native. No need to apologize. It's perfectly fine. Yes, that damn annoying ass voice. I agree with you. Yeah, she's annoying. She's annoying as all get out. Clutching My Pearl says there's no censorship on Station Head. YouTubers have after shows over there because they can cuss and play music. Plus, you get paid. How much? I'm not sure. How much doesn't matter, honestly. It sounds like a great time. We can cuss and get paid. I'm all for it. More flames in the chat. Thank you so much, Honeybee61. I enjoy you all so much. I really do. Lonnie says, hey, Native and y'all. Hey, Lonnie. Long time no see. Lonnie, how you been? You been okay? Good. Thank you for coming through on a Saturday. Sonya doesn't like anyone around Nesto that can see her. She's flaws and insecurities. Yeah. You're right. Sonya would be okay with a jailhouse romance, something to live for. She didn't really want him to get out. She knows how that would go, just like the others. You're correct, Nina girl. And I think it's interesting. That she pretends to be busy, but then when he asks her about what she's doing, her response is nothing. When he said to her, I just think you bored. And she was like, yeah, I am. And then she stopped and thought about it. And then she was like, I'm not really bored. I just haven't traveled anywhere. And I haven't, but she's actually a bored person that has nothing else to do. Nesto is her entertainment. Nesto is her life. And I'm sorry, that's just not the example, or that's not the life that anybody should want, is for Nesto to be the center of your being. I think that's kind of it's kind of sad if you say it out loud that this man is the center of your being. Like, I don't know. Ken of 14 says, I love Pensacola Beach. Pensacola Beach is amazing. Whenever I do go home, I always not always, because sometimes I don't have time, but like to go across that 3 Mile bridge and the view that you get of the beach. If you all have never visited Pensacola Beach, it is absolutely stunning. The white sands, the green water, the green bluish water, and to see that water go from green to blue as it goes out is also amazing. The sunset when you're coming back, all of those things. Pensacola Beach is just it's amazing. It's just Pensacola has issues. Pensacola has a lot of issues as far as police brutality and between the city police and the county police. And I experienced a lot growing up in Pensacola that made me not want to live there as an adult. So, but I can't take anything away from the beauty of where I'm from. Not at all. Ban says, I agree, Native. Her lies are due to her self-image and her self-esteem. Absolutely. Absolutely. Lonnie says, she's always in the bed. She doesn't have a life because of all the investor stories, opening gay strip clubs and bars, or gay clubs, strip clubs, bars, stores over. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing. I mean, how has nothing come about? Nothing worked, at some point, something is a lie. Green waters that Nesto visits. Look, Pink Pearls. Nesto was in Destin. Destin is about an hour and a half from Pensacola. It's the same beach. Like, if you were to go on Pensacola Beach and just walk to the east, it would take you a while, but you would eventually be in Destin. It's the same beach. It goes across that same. So if you look at the map of Florida, Pensacola is the most northwestern part of Florida. And that beach line that you see, that's the Gulf of Mexico, that stretches all the way across. It's the same beach. So technically, yes, it's the same water if you want to look at it like that. So yeah. Nesto got conned. He threw his wife away for a scallywag that cannot set him free, which is what he thought. When you say scallywag, you know what I think. Bald head scallywag ain't got no hair in the back. Our friends at the 666 Mafia said that Sonia is a chicken head. Hood classic. Hey, Attitude and Tylenol, you made it through. I am so happy that you are here. Thank you for being a part of the tribe. Today, it is Saturday. We talking about Shirley, and we talking about Shirley having to have Nesto around her neck for 30 more days because of a sorry judge. But thank you for coming through, Attitude and Tylenol, another great name that I love. PW says Sonia is using the excuse of her business being on the internet to not tell Nesto any more of her imaginary business idea. You know what, PW? You're right. You're right about that. You're right. That is her excuse now. I can't say it. I don't want everybody to be in my business. I did this. I did that. I don't want everybody to be in my business. Do you all remember when Sonia said that that she had opportunities now and that she was getting all these phone calls for all these different opportunities? Or does anybody remember her saying that? She tries to make it seem like she has won up on the YouTube audience, and she goes through all these extremes and says all these things because she knows she's that we're listening. Hey, let's talk about it all. Says, I can't wait until they find out that they are lying to each other. They already know. Jackson Tabasco said, my boy still running his mouth. Thank you. I think Jackson Tabasco. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, Niner Girl says, Nesto keeps telling Sonia other guys would love her. He's selling her pics in there and would be selling her if he was out. I used to think that he wasn't selling her pics because of the way that he because of the way that she is, I don't know, shaped. But then I thought about the dorm that he's in, and he's in there with people with similar charges as he is, and it makes sense. So probably so. Yeah. Lady T-Bug says, nope, it wasn't a part of Alabama. They tried to sell it to Alabama, but a no-go. I was thinking something like that, but as far as the way that the lines ran between Alabama and North Florida, I didn't think Pensacola was a part of it. I know that there was like that line was drawn, and the Indian tribes were different. So you have the Choctawhatchee Indians, which were the Alabama Indian tribe, and then you have the Seminole Indians, which were the basically like the Florida break off of the Choctawhatchees. Seminole literally means runaway, and the Choctawhatchee Indians that ran away to Florida were considered Seminole. So that's the Pensacola, North Florida history that I know about. So I wasn't really sure about that, but thank you for clearing it up, Lady T. Bud, my Florida homie. Thank you so much. To tip your host, yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the cash apps. Thank you so much for the support. I know that you don't have to do it. The fact that you're willing to do it makes me forever grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, Native and the rest of the tribe. Happy Saturday. The Real Brown Family Chronicles is here. I feel like when the Real Brown Family Chronicles is here, like everybody in that picture is here. So I feel like it's not one person. I feel like you bring your own tribe to the tribe. So I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Soul Power says, what up, y'all? We got flames in the chat, y'all. We got flames in the chat. Attitude and Tylenol says there was someone else who changed her name to the same thing, so you may see the original Attitude and Tylenol soon. It's just a great name. When he said that, I fell out. All I got was Attitude and Tylenol. That is so good. That is so good. The only opportunity Sonya has is more old ass men that are Johns. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Stacy, that first twin, says Sonya business is not existing like her edges. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You better believe that. I see that Saints jersey. Who that to you, Stacy, that first twin? Yes, indeed. Bible Lady says I'm late, but I'm in the car bushes. Thank you for coming through, Bible Lady. I appreciate your support. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming in with the tribe. We are just sitting around here talking about Shirley Strawberry and that look on her face when they told her no divorce until September 25th. My goodness. That girl said that hen heard Nasty say he was calling his prayer partner and not the lineback Barracuda. She purposely ignored him. He liked that. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Native Tribe Urban Media. Are you familiar with Chief Warhorse? Old Man Johnson's farm? I think I am. I haven't dug into my my Seminole Choctaw Indian history in a minute. And I'm trying to remember as I think about it. I think I do. But feel free to enlighten, feel free to elaborate on that. It's a very interesting it's a very interesting story about North Florida and how runaway slaves were welcomed into the Seminole nations, and it kind of like introduced Black Seminoles. And so when people say I got Indian in my family, a lot of that integration between runaway slaves and Black Seminoles, or into the Seminole tribe, had a lot to do with a lot of Black people having children that had Indian in them, I mean, so it's an interesting story. I highly recommend that you look it up. You'll go down a rabbit hole. Trust me when I tell you. Bible Lady says, hello to the tribal family. Welcome to the tribe, everybody. This is what we do. Soul Power says, Nesto would pimp Sonya from jail if she would go along with it. She probably would go along with it. Think about it. I mean, think about what she said. Her dedication is unflappable. It's completely unflappable. Patrice wants to know, is Roy Jones Jr. still in Pensacola? Does he support the community? Loved his swag. All right. I will dip into this for a quick second, but I ain't gonna spend a lot of time talking about Roy. Roy, does he support his community? Let's go with that first. The answer is going to be no. I think about when I was there, um, hurricane came through, lots of devastation. Roy Jones nowhere to be found. Who was there for the community was Derek Brooks, our retired former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, Hall of Famer. Derek was there with a 18-wheeler full of ice. And if you've ever been through a hurricane, you know how valuable ice can be. And he had a whole 18-wheeler giving out ice. I mean, he was all over the place. And he has been more on the side of the community than Roy. He's been more visible in the community more than Roy. Derek has his charitable foundation there and does a lot. Can't really think of a Roy Jones charity. I can't really think of anything. And this is just coming from, me living there and being in Pensacola at the same time as Roy. So I'm giving you that perspective of just who I've seen and what I know about. Maybe he helps people on an individual basis. I don't know about that, but I can tell you that as far as being visible, present in the community whenever the community needs, I would put that more on Derek Brooks than I would Roy Jones Jr. But is he still in Pensacola? Yes, from what I understand, he still lives there, which, he lives in the north part. Roy Jones' country is cotton. He lives in the north part, closer to Alabama, in a little town called Barth. Quintet, all that out there. That's where Roy Jones is really at. Like, not really the Pensacola city limits, but it's all considered Pensacola. But he's still there. Is the bigger point. So, his swag in the ring was unique. I will give him that. But as far as like being someone for the community, not really. Not really gonna say that. But anyway. Old Man Johnson's Farm. I will email. Yes, if I need to put my email address in the chat, just let me know. I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate everybody looking out for me. Thank you so much. We got more flames in the chat. Y'all. I appreciate it. I don't think Nesto likes when Sonia's spewing her pro-Trump nonsense. I don't. I feel like Nesto politically is indifferent. I don't know. Like, I don't know if he really has a dislike for it. I feel like Nesto feels like it's a part of what he has to put up with, with her, Let me see. Make sure you keep the bladder empty because you never know what may fly out of my mouth. Dimples Wimples is giving you all a warning because Dimples Wimples is hilarious. So yes, you never know what she gonna say. Penny Proud says, what? And I love me some Roy Jones Jr. I understand that. I get the fandom outside of Pensacola. I get it. I think like and I think it's the same thing for like people in New York. If you're outside of New York, you may not know about what happens with like Diddy and all these different entities up there. But when you're in New York, I've talked to people that are from New York, lived in New York, and knew about Diddy's actions for a long time and have been telling me about it way back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. You know what I mean? Like, I think when you're from a place, you get more of an insight to some of the people that are outside don't have privy to, you know what I mean? So, but I get it. And I understand why you would love Roy Jones. He was fantastic in the ring, awesome boxer, but sometimes, all that's not what it's cracked up to be. But feel free to come to Pensacola and support the city. Sometimes it's an awesome place to visit. Soul Power says they better be on point and prepare come September 20th. Shirley tired. Shirley is tired. Shirley said, I am sick of this Negro. That was the look on her face. There's a look on her face. It's funny you perceive that, Native, because my entire family near and far use me to keep up with what's going on in these streets. I admit to being nosy. They claim to be interested in what I'm doing. I'm telling you bring the tribe. You bring the tribe. I'm telling you. Ring got more flames in the chat. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So V, the one says, food for thought. A so-called slave could not have hid with the natives if they didn't all look alike. How could a black person hide with a lighter colored person? So let me clarify. It wasn't that they were hiding. It's that Spain occupied Florida. So Florida was not a part of the United States at this time. So what they were doing was when they would run away, they would run south to Florida, and the Seminole tribe would take them in as Seminoles. So they became known as Black Seminoles. So it wasn't that, I mean, they were, of course, all darker skin, darker complexion, but it's not that they looked like them and they weren't hiding. As a matter of fact, one of the things that happened was that the United States Army and President Jackson at the time sent the U.S. Army to Florida to negotiate getting the slaves back. And it was the Seminole Indian tribe of Florida that said, no, they are a part of us. So if you want them, specifically Chief Osceola gave this message, if you want them back, you got to go through us. So they became one unit. They at no point were hiding at all. It was all out. it was all out. And one of the bravest acts of standing up for enslaved people or formerly enslaved people. And the Seminole Wars is the only war that the United States Army has admitted to losing. Like, they don't admit to Vietnam, they don't admit to it, but they have no choice with the way that they were beat back out of Florida to admit that they lost that war with the Seminole Indians. I'm telling you, if you look it up, it is one of the most fascinating, untalked about pieces of history that you'll ever find. But no, definitely we're not hiding, but definitely we're taken in. And yeah, it's interesting. I could talk about, I could literally go on about that. It is super interesting. Yes, Destin, Pensacola. Yeah. Panama City. Yeah, it's all one long continuous stretch of water. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I've been in Pensacola since 2016 and have heard it, seen anything there was. Yeah. I mean, I left in 2010. So up to that point in my life, I really, I'm trying to think, what is he? I mean, if it's not something specifically having to do with him. So, at one point, by 2016 it closed, but at one point, he had a club, and of course he had his boxing gym and everything like that. But as far as if it didn't have anything to do with him specifically, no, not at all. Not at all. Clutch of My Pearl says, I think he knows her rhetoric has gotten him in more trouble. I think he might. I don't think he knows the severity of it, because when I look at it, I'm looking at it like in a court setting where, everything you say can and will be used against you. I think it won't hit him totally until he's in court and those conversations and pieces of those conversations start being used by the prosecution. I think that's when it'll totally hit him. I think right now he thinks that he could still save face by saying, "Oh, I ain't saying nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing." No, I think it's too late, but I don't really think that he understands. I think that he understands the ramifications as of yet. Chief Tallahassee is who we're named after. Lady T-Bug. I did not know that. I don't know how I missed that, but I did not know that. That's interesting. Okay. All right. Old Man Johnson Swan said, "We are the Indians." Yeah. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Native Tribe is actually where I got the name from. Me being such a tremendous Florida State fan, and just a fan of Tallahassee in general. So like, there's this imaginary like rivalry between Florida State and FAMU that I don't participate in. I love FAMU as much as I love Florida State. I love the whole 850. And but Native Tribe comes from my adoration of the Seminole Tribe of Florida and Florida State. So that's where I came up with the name from. And just a little insight as far as the name and my love for all things Tallahassee, all things 850. That's where I came up with Native Tribe. So just a little insight. Clutching My Pearl says Seminoles were tough. Seminoles are tough. They still are. They're the only Native American tribe in America that has never surrendered. So of course, Florida State has the moniker of unconquered in tribute to that. They are the only unconquered indigenous tribe of people in the United States. Fun fact, and yes, they were tough and they still are. So Jackson Tabasco, welcome to the Booker T. Washington lecture course, Black 101. Tabasco, Jackson, Tabasco, thank you for being here. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, Jackson, Tabasco, log off. Attitude of Tylenol says it's so refreshing to hear an articulate and intelligent black man after months of hearing Parchment and Public Fender and Hercules being in the Bible. Us intelligent and articulate black men are out here. We are. And yeah, I can understand. I want to hear more about the Seminoles. Those Seminole Wars, they actually have letters from like when the Army went down and they were like in the Gainesville swamps, and they were kind of like in that area, Central Florida, which were occupied by the Florida State, the Seminole tribe of Florida. There are letters that they sent back to Andrew Jackson. And in those letters, there's such desperation as to why did you send us here? How are we ever going to fight, in these conditions? Because they were literally like they were literally dying from mosquito bites, because they were not there was no way for them to be vaccinated or anything like that. So they're in conditions that they had never been in Florida. Remember, Florida was not a part of the United States. They did not know what they were getting into. And they're coming down there with all these muskets and stuff, and they're getting beat back by, rocks and slingshots and spears and, these really primitive weapons. And it was driving them crazy. So when you do look up the Seminole Wars, just they should be able to show you some of the letters that were sent to Andrew Jackson, and begging for help, begging for desperation, and begging to get out of there. It is a really interesting piece of American history that they do not talk about or teach you about. Native, sir, if you were Miss Shirley Strawberry, brother, what would you have done? Oh, boy. I don't think Nesto would have made it to the jail. No. Yes, that's true about the blacks and the Indians. Yeah. And Lady T-Bug, they don't know like how deep it goes. Like they don't know like that Florida history, Florida black history is its own thing. I'm telling you. Roger, yes, he did. That was sad. That was super, super sad. One of the twins. Yeah, absolutely. Lady T-Bug says she loved Derrick Brooks. Derrick Brooks is a good dude. That is one good dude. He was a senior in high school when I was a freshman. So I actually got to ride the bus to school with this dude, because when he was a senior, he wasn't driving to school. So he would be in the back of the bus. And I'll never forget this. I was actually getting bullied on the bus, and Derrick Brooks actually stood up for me on the bus. I will never forget that. He probably, after all these years, has forgotten it, but I will never forget that. Great guy, great speaker, loves his wife, loves his church family, takes his church. When he was playing for the Buccaneers, he would take the entire church family down to one game a year, all the way down to Tampa, which is a great expense. He had his foundation that would take kids to Africa. Just an amazing, amazing guy. Proud to call Pensacola, not only Pensacola, but my neighborhood, just proud to be a part of the Derrick Brooks legacy. That's awesome. Roy did one Matrix movie and was feeling himself, I guess. I mean, I ain't even see it. Like he did. Remember, he was in one of the Creed movies as an announcer. It might have been the first one, I think, as a ringside announcer, which I really didn't feel like he did that great. But who am I but somebody that watches movies all the time? Continuously Evolving says, my grandmother's grandfather was Chief Spotted Elk. He died in a battle at Wounded Knee. His half-brother was Chief Sitting Bull. Wow. What an amazing legacy. Wow. Devil's Whipple says, any ladies native is taking applications, serious inquiries only. Thank you, Dimples Wimples, for putting that out there. Thank you. I love y'all. I really do. I'm just listening. Okay. Love the history. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm open to do lives about whatever. Like if y'all have a suggestion about a live that if we want to sit and talk about Black history, I'm more than happy to do that. I know that tomorrow, I haven't forgot about y'all. Tomorrow we are doing the movie chat. And we can start that. I think if 1:30 is a good time, we can do the movie chat then. But we will definitely do our movie chat. I hope you all bring some good suggestions. Hope y'all seen some good stuff. But we'll do our movie chat tomorrow at 1:30. I will probably post that once I get off of this live. I'll post the live for tomorrow, so that way we can get ready for that. But definitely, whatever you all want to talk about, hey, I'm down. I'm down. Tomorrow today and tomorrow I'll be shooting the Steve Harvey thing, and I probably will try to get that out to you guys either Monday or Tuesday. Hopefully, if everything goes right, I can get that the Steve Harvey letter done by out by tomorrow sometime. So we'll see. But either way, we're gonna do our movie chat tomorrow at 1:30. So bring a friend, and we will go from there. Yes, I saw an incredible documentary on the Seminole Wars on YouTube. I'm telling you, if you're a history buff and you love Black history, absolutely look into the Seminole Wars, because even though it's called the Seminole Wars, it is actually a war about protecting the runaway slaves that came to Florida. The reason Florida became a state was so that they could retrieve slaves, because Spain occupied Florida. The governor of Florida was like, no. They invaded Florida, got beat back. Andrew Jackson then said, well, if we purchase Florida, then the slaves are free game. So that's the way Florida became a state. It was because they wanted to retrieve slaves, which the owners of those slaves complained to Andrew Jackson about how their property was gone. So in order to get them back, that's what happened. So it's an amazing story, but I really do think that it's worth checking out. Listening in the bushes, driving home. Awesome. Appreciate you listening with us. Andrea says, I'm from Pensacola and loving the history. What side of Pensacola, Andrea? I'm curious. I'm east side. 9th Avenue. Cordova Mall right up the street. I'm just saying. Let me know. In Harmon, I will look this up. Seminoles, yes. Please do. When you do, I'm telling you, you'll really find out a lot. Attitude and talent. Now, forget me calling my brother Nesto would have had passed my nanny. Yeah, I know, right? That woman is a real Medea. Yeah. And I think, and look, and to me, that's important. To me, protecting our family and protecting, because I've had to stand up to my brother-in-law a couple times, and he was, like 6'3", 6'4", had me by like 100 pounds. But guess what? That's my sister, and if I have anything to do with it, I'm gonna stand up. We gonna fight till I win, or we gonna fight till the world end. One of the two. But I am gonna stand up to protect, those that are close to me, and I think that that's important. So yeah, brother, Nana, whoever, yeah, Black women deserve protection. Absolutely. Yes, Derek Brooks is awesome. He's an awesome guy. He really is. Nina Girl says, can you put your email in the chat? I absolutely will, Nina Girl. Let me see if I can do that real quick right now. And now it's there, or should be coming up. Flick got me inflicted. Yeah, Black Skin Queen. You know what I'm talking about. Hey, Azure, how are you? Right, Nina, with the history on Florida. Yeah. When you get into it, Lady T-Bug, obviously you've gotten into it. You know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of twists and turns that really I feel like everybody should know about when we talk about Black history, because we talk about Black history in this bubble of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. We talk about Martin Luther King. We talk about all these things. Nobody really mentions Florida. They don't even mention when Martin Luther King came to St. Augustine to protest the pools and Black children not being able to swim in the pool. They don't even talk about that. But like, there's such an amazing depth of history that happened for Black people in Florida, and it gets left out of the talk a lot of times. So yeah, if you go down that rabbit hole, you will you will find out a lot. Southside Chi-Town, how you doing? Just woke up, ready for the movie time. It's tomorrow. We're gonna do it tomorrow. In Harmon, if there's a particular movie you want to talk about, it's fine. But I mean, tomorrow, I will open up the panel, and we'll be able to talk about whatever movie that you like. Hey, say Jay, how are you? How's everything going with you on this Saturday as we get later into the day? Devil's Wimple says, please hit the mother loving like button. That's what I'm talking about. Show some love to Native. Yes, 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 yes. Miss Lady says, I would love to trace my roots. That'd be interesting. I think it's interesting. When I look at my mother's complexion and I look at my granddad's complexion, I know that there's some Indian running through me, which probably explains a lot. Cupcake, we got more flames in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. Attitude, Tylenol, keeping it going. We're going to keep some flames in the chat because, we want to keep the chat hot. This is the address, my email address. So if you do want to hit me up with some of your ideas, show ideas or whatever, I'm down with it. No idea is a bad idea. 850 stand up. Yeah. The woman he chose. I'm loving this conversation around history. Again, I am more than happy to dedicate a whole show just to talk about that. Lady Sheba says you can like both FAMU and FSU and have my whole life. They both bring, FAMU brings that HBCU. Florida State just brings that, if you are a football fan and follow football, then Florida State has consistently brought a great product to the field every year. And FAMU is just fun. Like FAMU, you go to Tallahassee, and if it's whatever is happening out there with FAM and Florida State, it is a ball. I love it when Florida State and FAMU have football games on the same Saturday. That is just the best possible time you could have. But no, there's no rivalry in my eyes. I love them both very much. That girl says, Sonia didn't even catch on to how the inmate on the jail visit was waving at her. Why Nasty wasn't mad like he used to pretend to be because he's selling her pictures to those inmates just waving. That girl, I didn't connect that. I saw the guy, but I was thinking, like, why is he waving at her? And now that you say that, that makes all the sense in the world. All the sense in the world. Pink Pearl says Ron DeSantis is going to have you arrested. He can try. He can try. I'm not even finna open up. I'm not even finna open up the Ron DeSantis book right now. How dare you teach Black history? Well, guess what, Mr. DeSantis. They to try re-up your track phone minutes. I will not elaborate on that. Dimples, but those gonna move right on past it. All right, so let's see. Continuously Involving says, I will be binging on the Seminoles since I have nothing else to do. I was diagnosed with COVID-19. Oh, 3 shots in, and I still got it. Medication to stop it from progressing is $1,000. Wow. I think it's so cruel how much healthcare costs in this country. And when you go right across the border to Canada, maybe that's why Sonya goes there, because healthcare is free. But they take care of their citizens a lot better. I hope that you feel better. I really, really do. Wouldn't want anybody to go through that. I went to a mall in Miami once. Nobody spoke English. They were holding up cards with English. Blew my mind. I went to when I was in Texas, I went to a Walmart. Nothing, including the overhead announcements, were in English. So I feel you on that. Yeah, that's a trip. Are you close to having your runtime hours? I actually am. I actually got them. I think it was on the last live I did. It takes YouTube a minute to update everything, so I'm still in process with getting all the rest of the stuff in. But yeah, I actually did, and it's thanks to all of you. And we got more fire in the chat from Nola Brown. Nesto is in for a rude awakening when that trial comes. I can't wait. Yeah. Andrea said, I grew up near Cordova Mall. Me too. I grew up off of 9th Avenue. So if you know that runs right by it, that's my neck of the woods. So we neighbors. We neighbors. Begging for skin so soft and off. Yes, indeed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Lady T-Bug, does skin so soft actually work? Because I heard that was kind of a myth. I heard it doesn't really repel mosquitoes like they said it did. It was just like an Avon marketing move. Let me know. Continuously evolving. Thank you. I'm pissed. My family has gathered and have grounded me. I can't find the car key anywhere. Aw. Aw. PW, football fan of FAMU and FSU. R plus. Moves you up to the topo. Look, I actually, like, as much as I love Florida State, I actually have probably, well, not at this point, but at one point I had been to more FAMU games than I had Florida State games. So, I love that. Niner girl, my NFL team is the New Orleans Saints. Who that? Who that? But let me tell you about your Niners. I root for your Niners. I want your Niners to win. I just want your Niners to do things that would help them win. Okay, like, I'm kind of questioning your coach a little bit, but let me tell you, when I'm not rooting for Florida State, I love the Niners. I love the roster of the 49ers. I love that team. So, but my team is the New Orleans Saints. Who that? Who that? Stacy, that first one, says, I'm from Louisiana. My family from Gibson, Louisiana. I build family trees and I build Sonia. Really? Maybe we need to get into that. That would be interesting. FAMU band, the March of 100, the best HBCU band in the land. And I know that that's going to be a point of contention. I know some people are going to want to come after me for that, but I have seen it with my own eyes. That FAMU band is, well, I ain't got words for them. I ain't got words. I grew up with that. So I give Southern their props. Grambling they props. I give, everybody has a good, but when it comes to greatness, that marching 100, Lord. So go ahead and yell at me in the chat. I know somebody is. So In Harmon says, I wonder if Nesto sells Mammy Fresh Picks too. Oh wait, Nesto, haven't asked maybe Fresh Picks. I'm gonna say that the Mammy Fresh Picks may be why he got beat up. Okay, if he's trying to sell them, they probably kicked his ass for doing that. Salt and Pepper Tressa says, loving this live in chat, and she has dropped some flames in the chat. We got some flames in the chat. Trolling as mine is all I'm saying. Thank you, 11747. Thank you very much. Thank you. Legacy Moon, how you doing? Did you get some rest? Legacy Moon had us out there. Did you get some rest? Is all I want to know. We had an amazing live. If you all want just some amazing conversation that we had last night around a bunch of different subjects, go check out Legacy Moon. Look for me and her face there. Click on that, and you're going to get probably one of the best lives that you ever want to hear. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Attitude and Tylenol says it does nothing for me. In fact, I think Skin So Soft invites mosquitoes to me. Yeah, so we were like, when Skin So Soft came out, we were just told that you put this on and the mosquitoes go away. And I don't ever remember skins repelling away from me when I had that stuff on. Everybody was on that, so I mean, yeah, I don't know. Pink Pearl says Skin So Soft worked for me, but I didn't like the smell. Now that I can agree with you about. It never worked for me, but the smell of that stuff is weird. And to me, it kind of evolved into one of them old lady smells that like old ladies wear. They put Skin So Soft on, and it wasn't my thing. The woman he chose says, my family lived by Skin So Soft when I was little. My mama sold Avon. Okay. All right. And Banks says, yes, it does. My dad worked for Avon in production, and he got the first bottles when it came out. He showed us how they could kill crickets. Interesting. Okay. All right. Clutching my pearls with the fleur-de-lis. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. Now we talking Who Dat Nation. Yes, indeed. We gonna second line this year. We gonna second line if they put that boy Rattler behind center. That's all I'm saying. We need to move Carr out the way and put that boy Rattler back there. Ain't that ironic that his name is Rattler? Oh, never thought about that. Avon has some good products. Yes, Avon does. Yes, yes, yes. Niner Girl says not too much on the Niners now, but okay, Saints, I see you. Okay, all right. Anita Hill. Hello, Native. I'm late, red balling back. Congratulations. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Anita Hill, for coming through. Yeah, if you just joining us, please, please, please feel free to go back and listen to where we started and figure out how we got here. No, sir, the human jukebox. I get it. I get it. I understand. And the cool thing about HBCU bands is that we can have this debate and nobody is wrong. That's the best thing about it, because I can go to the human jukebox, I can go to the Sonic Boom, all that stuff. I love college football, black college football band, black college football halftime. It's just, for me, growing up with that marching 100, being from Pensacola and just being just a hot skip away from Tallahassee, and seeing that growing up, it just left something indelible in my mind. But I think, like anybody, I think everybody has that same story, right? With whoever you go for. But I see the human jukebox. I see it. I see it. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. Oh, Virgo Cali, we're not going to the cow. No. What's the next comment? Because we're not doing this. We're not doing this cowboy thing today. We're not doing this. Southern University all day, every day. I respect that. I respect that. Marching 100. Yeah, we got a marching 100. Continuously evolving speaks to Legacy Moon. So happy Legacy Moon is here. Yes, Southside, Chi-Town, till 3 a.m. Yes. Southern and Dillard is my colleges. Absolutely. So Legacy Moon, you did get some rest. Okay, good. I was worried about you. Sassy Sue said, the Marching 100 pulled me out these bushes. Love them. Yes, indeed. Man, I have seen them do some amazing things on the field. I absolutely have. Minding Business says, I'm another genealogy buff. Would love to chat about it one of these days. Okay, we can do that. We can have that conversation. Absolutely. Bible Lady says, Legacy Moon had us out in these YouTube streets last night. It was an amazing live. And I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not telling y'all that because I was a part of it. If you go back to it, it was just an amazing conversation. And the beautiful thing about this community, again, is how diverse everybody is, how intelligent everybody is. And everybody brings a unique and refreshing perspective to the conversation with no negativity. It's incredible. So I again implore you, if you really want to hear a great conversation, go to Legacy Moon's page and check it out. It's amazing. Jackson Tabasco says, ain't no band better than the Southern University. No need to debate. I'm not going to debate you. I'm not. Again, from your perspective, you are right. But from my perspective, give me that Marching 100. Lady T-Bug, let them know about them Rattlers. I'm just saying, I mean, it is what it is. Nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. We just like what we like. I'm just saying. Lady T-Bug says, yes, Native, we have a lot of history. We do. And I really am interested at, in just, and getting that out there, Nina Girl has a question for everybody. She wants to know, do y'all think Sonia will appear at the trial? No, I don't. I don't think she'll appear at the trial because I feel like she thinks that she is so people want to sniff her and smell her, and people are going to want her autograph. And, I think that she thinks that highly of herself. She has a real self-importance thing. So I don't think so. What do the rest of you all think? Man, we got some flames in the chat. Stacy, that first twin. That's what I'm talking about. I used to look forward to the Bayou Classic back in college. I ain't gonna lie, the Bayou Classic, if there's something, like if you can't make it to New Orleans for any other thing, Jazz Fest, if you can't make it for Mardi Gras, if you can't make it for French Quarter Fest, whatever it is that you, please, at some point in your life, even if you can't make it for Essence, at least come to the Bayou Classic one time. I promise you, it'll make you it'll make you get a different perspective on life. It's an amazing event. University of Pittsburgh, yeah, okay, all right, cool. Yeah, Bayou Classic, yeah. Are you taller than a tuba? So apparently Jackson Tabasco's aim is to troll today. I'm not going there. Not going there. Thought we were better than this Jackson Tabasco, but Anyway, continuously evolving says, yeah. As far as Legacy Moon, I think it's ironic that her name is Legacy Moon, and like, yeah, Under the Moonlight is when she does her best work. Like she is amazing, an amazing live at night. Yes, if you get a chance to check it out live, or run back the replay. But she's an amazing content creator. Native Tribe, your assessment of the situation is on point. Thank you, Phoebe. I appreciate that. I try to be as introspective as possible. Continuously evolving says this is an amazing community. It absolutely is, and I love it right along with you. It absolutely is. Pink Pearl says that Sonya won't be there unless they call her as a witness. She ain't really witnessed anything. You know what I mean? Like, I think she witnessed tampered. But as far as calling her in to ask her about things, as far as these charges, if you look at what he's charged with, she didn't witness anything. She basically got him to admit to a lot of things, and they don't need to call her in on the stand for that because they have the calls recorded. So, but she didn't actually witness anything. So I think, like, if they bring up the witness tampering, that would be a separate thing, but I don't really think that they would need her on the witness stand for anything. PW says, I absolutely love HBCU marching bands. Yeah, it's an amazing experience to see that. Legacy Moon says Sonya won't be awake for the trial. You are 100% right. The woman he chose says, I low-key want Shirley and Sonya to cross paths. Now, let me ask you this, the woman he chose. What you think gonna happen if that does happen? If they just happen to be in the bathroom at the same time, what you think gonna happen? I don't know. Somebody said that Sonya would. It was Dimples Wimples that said that Sonya make you put hands and feet on her. Do you think that Shirley would put hands and feet on her? Because that would be worth seeing. This community is fire. Yeah. Menu Mindset says Infamous will be there supporting her man. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes to that. I'm gonna say yes to that. Yeah, I think so. Let me see. Shirley ain't gonna say anything to her. I think Shirley takes the high road. I think Shirley is a high road taker. But you never know with people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not encouraging violence, not at all. But if she snapped, she would be within her rights. Let's just say it like that. If there was a snapping of the strawberry, she would be completely in her rights. I think Shirley may take it all off her aggression on Sonya in a classy way, of course, very demure. Yeah. I think so too. I do think, like, if there was something that she would say, I know one thing. Sonya presents herself as a coward herself. I wouldn't see Sonya saying anything to her. I would see Sonya trying to avoid her like the plague. I can see that. But yeah. Woody is infamous new man. Yeah. She does, like, she has a type. She has a type. Yeah. Even a scary cat will scratch your eyes up. That's true. Sonya drove said stolen vehicle. Interesting. Yeah. Penny Proud. Penny Proud. You are on point with this comment. Shirley won't, but Sheridan might. You are so right. Sheridan ain't got a public persona. Yeah, that's Shirley Strawberry daughter. But she ain't on the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Her mama is. Sheridan might risk it all. You're right about that. So that's a good point. And I did not think about that, but you are 1,000% right. Shirley wouldn't even have to lay hands. Sonia, nah, not probably. Not probably. Nah, she would run, you know. If they cross paths in the restroom, Shirley Strawberry would ignore her like she's done everyone else who tried to warm up to her about Nesto. Had to warn her about Nesto. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. It would take a lot. I think like it would take a lot for them to actually come to blows. But I still think that them like laying eyes on each other would be interesting. Cowboy fan for life. Okay, marital. I'm not going there with y'all trying to. I'm not going there with the Cowboys. Okay, I'm not doing this today. Okay, all right. We just gonna leave the Cowboys alone today. That's what we gonna do. Who's gonna come off their throne to rumble with a rat? That's a good point, Justin. That's a good point. That's a good point. My menu mindset says Shirley should attend with her producers so she can get all the details for a Tubi movie. Nesto be mad if Shirley shows up. Nesto would be mad. Yeah. Mississippi Monica just might lay hands on Sonia if she was around. The woman he chose, you right. Because when you got a name like Mississippi Monica, I think everything on the table. That's my opinion. I think everything on the table. Yeah, Shirley Squad might show up and handle Sonya, Monica, Debbie, and Sheridan. Panay too. Oh, yeah. And here is the one, the only, V. Lenore. Hey, Native and Tribe. What are y'all doing without me? We let me tell you what we doing, V. We talking about Shirley Strawberry and that look of disgust she had on her face when they told her that she had to have Nesto hanging around her neck until September 25th. That's what we doing. That look of absolute, like, I can't believe this bullshit here that was on her face. And we talking about some other things, but that was the main purpose for this live today. And now we're talking about who would lay hands on Sonia if they saw her at the courthouse. That's we took a long way to get from that original point to here, but this is where we are right now. So Ms. Lady says, I think Sheridan would, the way she stepped up to infamous Sylvia when she showed up at the beauty salon. Yeah. That's why I said I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that thought. Shirley wouldn't have to do too much of anything on that, you know. Jackson Tabasco said he hurried up and ran his ass to the end of the chair. Yeah. Jackson Tabasco. I'm not sure where we stand at this point, but okay. I got you. Vila North says, I felt her pain. Yeah. I felt her pain and her aggravation because it had to be both. It had to be a mixture of both. Probably more aggravation at this point. I think, like when you are just like ready to be over something, you ready to be over it. And this has just been dragging for way too long. So I felt like she was aggravated and there was some pain there too. So yeah. Y'all know she's not showing up. I don't think she'll be there. I think she talks a good game, but I don't think she'll be there. To confront anybody or even to see what happens. I think she will be wrapped up in her blanket. I think she'll be asleep, and I don't think that she shows up. No. Shirley looked like she wanted to cuss. Yes, Mocha Pam, she did. She looked. I mean, what can you do? You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like if she did anything other than what she did, people would be talking about that more. But so I think that for everything that happened, I think that she absolutely handled it like a pro. So there's that. Hey, Ms. Lorraine, so happy you're here. Thank you for joining the tribe. Thank you. It is a Saturday afternoon. We have been talking about Shirley Strawberry and her aggravation with still having Nesto hanging around her neck like a cheap chain and not being able to do nothing about it. What that must be like. The woman he chose says, I missed the Sheridan this Silverback encounter. Yeah, so it was infamous Sylvia it was Wisdom's daughter, and they went to Panay's hair salon here in Atlanta, and they went there, and they did not know that Shirley Strawberry and Sheridan were in the back, and Sheridan came out and expressed to them that she did not want them to be there, and they weren't doing that today, and yeah, and so she actually did confront them about that. What happened later was that there was a selfie taken by Shirley Strawberry that confirmed that she was also in the shop at that time, but they were in the back. So yeah, that actually happened. I'm not sure if Wisdom's daughter still has that on her page, but they were both doing live streams at that point. So yeah, that was actually a thing. Yeah. Attitudes and Tylenol says Shirley should have listened to everyone. She was so desperate to be married, and now she's dealing with a husband that has a praying mantis with a bad weave as a mistress. Boy, you said a mouthful right there. Continuously Involving says, hey, Sonia, Nesto isn't responding to the divorce papers. What do you think about that? It's interesting. It's interesting. Look, y'all, it has been 3 hours on the dot. I appreciate you all stopping by to chat, have a good time, crack a few jokes. We had a good time, as we always do when the tribe gets together. Thank you all for the cash apps. I appreciate your support. You all are the best, the absolute best, and I do not take you all for granted. Thank you all for stopping in. Just so you know, Lenore says, Ms. Lorraine, my flight was delayed twice and I missed it. I missed that last one due to many emergencies. I'll fly out tomorrow. Safe travels to you, V. Lenore. Safe travels to you. Nola Brown with the fire in the chat. But yes, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you all for supporting me. V. Lenore, if you haven't had enough, is saying that she is going live in a few moments. I'm going to get a snack and make my way over there. I hope you all do too. But like I was saying, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Do not forget, Movie Talk tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and schedule that live. It's going to be at 1:30. Bring you movie suggestions. We're going to talk about movies that you've seen, movies that you haven't seen, movies that you should see, and we're going to do our Movie Talk tomorrow. Thank you all. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all for coming through. I hope that you have a great rest of your Saturday. And again, V. Lenore is going live. Go check out V House. I will meet you all over there. Happy Saturday, y'all. Thank you for your support and have a great rest of your day.